Y'all, what y'all doing over there? John, you get that door for me? Door. The door down there.
Somebody at the door.
Yeah. Hey, y'all don't be messing around with them by them wires over there.
Yeah, we got
by that internet.
Yeah, we got some on the floor. We got some on the floor.
What you talking about over there, sister? I'm an expert with fast food.
Right on the edge on the right side. That's good. Good right there? Yes, sir. Thank you, Father.
No problem. Shabbat shalom, friend.
You turn your mic on. One, two, three. Brother. From the globe in and out.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom to the worldwide family.
You turn your mic on?
Mine ain't on? Okay, I guess that will work when it's there.
Yeah, it will work.
Shabbat shalom. Oh, yeah. Shabbat shalom, y'all. Shabbat shalom to the worldwide family. Peaceful Sabbath, y'all. As we get about our hour's business. You getting any feedback? Okay, good. Okay. Y'all, we'll get right to it. We're a little bit behind, but we wanted to ensure that our signal was strong and everything is working fine today. So y'all, with that, we're gonna get our prayer on and get right to it. Now y'all, we turn toward Holy Jerusalem, wherever you're at on planet Earth, turn toward Holy Jerusalem. We're in the west, so we turn toward the east.
All right, family. We're going to get this opening prayer. And it is with the Most High's permission. And is in the name of his only begotten and beloved Son, our Lord and Savior, and he's our Redeemer, Yahushua HaMashiach. But we know him as Jesus the Christ, family. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 17th chapter, it reads,
Pull it out.
Hear the right, O Yahweh, attend unto my cry.
Yes.
Give ear unto my prayer that goeth not out of feigned lips.
Yes, sir.
Let my sins come forth from thy presence. Let thine eyes behold the things that are evil.
Yes, sir.
Thou hast proved mine heart. Thou hast visited me in the night.
Yes, sir.
Thou hast tried me, and shalt find nothing. I am purposed that my mouth shall not transgress. Concerning the works of men, by the word of thy lips I have kept me from the paths of the destroyer.
Yes, sir.
Hold up my goings in thy paths, that my footsteps slip not. I have called upon thee, for thou wilt hear me, O Elohim. Incline thine ear unto me, and hear my speech.
Yes.
Show thy marvelous loving kindness, O thou that savest by thy right hand them which put their trust in thee,
Yes, sir.
from those that rise up against them.
Yes.
Keep me as the apple of the eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wing, from the wicked that oppress me,
Yes.
from my deadly enemies who compass me about.
Yes.
They are enclosed in their own fat.
Yes.
With their mouth they speak proudly. They have now compassed us in our steps.
Yes, sir.
They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth, like as a lion that is greedy of his prey.
Yes, sir.
And as it were a young lion lurking in secret places. Arise, O Yahweh,
Arise.
disappoint him, cast him down.
Yes, sir.
Deliver my soul from the wicked,
Yes.
which is thy sword. From men which are thy hand, O Yahweh. From men of the world, which have their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. As for me, I will behold in thy in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness. Hallelujah! Say God!
That's the payoff right there.
And y'all just wanted to say that prayer is so powerful because it's going to touch on what today's lesson is. And that last verse of that, when I arise in thine image. But when you arise in thy image, it won't be this fleshly form that we look at. No, it'll resemble that, but it'll be full of righteousness.
That's right.
So y'all, today's lesson, the color of YAH / Elohim. And Elohim is plural, meaning the Godhead. Meaning that everybody that dwells in this has this color. But y'all, we have to be careful that we don't keep looking at color when we look at each other. And put this dying flesh on the Father and the Son in that same likeness. Y'all, and what I'm speaking of is like Hebrews 2:10 through 15 versus Hebrews 7:16. What you getting over there, too, Bob? Oh, okay. Okay, why your forehead was wrinkled up? Oh, good. Don't have that wrinkle like that.
I was focused on checking.
You can discern wrinkles now?
Yeah, I can see that. Boy, look at her. When eyebrows touch together. Yes, sir. But y'all, what we want to explain of how the Bible deals with color, the Bible doesn't name color of people. The Bible deals with nations. And it describes any individual it wants you to just, for an instance, see what color they may have been. It still comes down to obedience and disobedience. Color don't make you nothing more closer to the Most High than knowing you an Israelite get you closer to knowing you the Most High.
Amen.
Because look, when we say the enemies are the foes of our own household, you don't think that starts in the heavens? So if we're saying the Most High is dark skinned, so to speak, and who was the enemy in his household?
His own.
No, I'm just saying the enemy. Who's the enemy that got threw out of there?
Devil.
So if the household is all of one color, what color was Satan when he was threw out there?
Black.
See, you got to have it. You can't have it both ways. You can't have the Father and Son black and then have the devil white.
Right.
See, but we're gonna get way past that today, y'all, and we're gonna go into the scripture, and you're gonna see every time that supernatural is mentioned, the Godhead, is compared to brilliance, not to dying flesh like us. The Most High face will never look like our face that dying. You know that as it get old, it wrinkles up.
Look at me.
When it get cold, what you say don't listen.
Now his sin.
You right. But y'all, so we gonna get on this, y'all, so we get some understanding, so y'all we can eliminate this topic called Black Hebrew Israelites. There's no such thing as a white Hebrew Israelite, because the Bible don't define us as such.
Right.
And what will happen is, if you start doing this verse teaching and grabbing one script that say they're black unto the ground, then you're going to have to explain black dirt. And then you're going to have to explain what separates all the other nations that are dark skinned from fulfilling the prophecy. So you're going to have to keep walking the line, y'all. It's prophecy that identify us. We just happen to be this color. If those in Israel right now were the people, then if they fit prophecy, then they would be the Jews and be white skinned. And y'all understand what I'm saying? Or that color complexion. But y'all, we're going to get into this today, and we're going to get some good understanding. Don't want y'all at all to think that we're saying anything the children of Israel is a different color. We just want to bring this to you from the Melchizedek order, from a high priest order, where flesh and blood can't dwell in the kingdom. It's spirit and flesh. And we have to understand that there's two types of flesh. So when we get into these colors, y'all, and then we're going to get into things like wool. And you're going to see ain't nobody, no man, no son of man, ever is mentioned having woolly hair in this Bible. Wool has a different understanding. So y'all, we want to get all that clear. I'm not saying the gray and hoary head. We're going to get to that too. But we want to put it in perspective. We want to put shaping in iniquity versus honor and glory and majesty is two different things. The splendors don't mix. You can't mix all in water. You can't mix sin and righteousness. If y'all understand what I'm saying. So y'all know how we do it. Our one and only high priest, Yeshua HaMashiach, locally known as Jesus the Christ. He's our high priest, our one and only high priest after the order of Melchizedek. He brings forth the law to every male, female, rich, poor, free, bond, Jew, or Gentile. Y'all, this comes down to color. Well, we're talking about spirit versus flesh. Don't chase color. You're going to lose if you chase color. And what I mean by that, if you think this Bible is written about black people, the problem is you're going to have to keep walking the line and explain away the other black people.
Right.
You're going to have to. If they say, what about the Egyptians? What about the Cushites? What about Mizraim? I mean, you're going to have to keep on, well, not them, not them, not them. If you stick to prophecy, it's going to explain who we are.
Well, that's why they get to this black Hebrew Israelite.
Yes, sir.
Because they stick into a color. So it creates black nationalism instead of prophecy.
Absolutely. Okay, y'all, so we're going to get right to it. But before we get going, y'all, we just want to send prayer requests out to our sick and shut in. And also, thank you, Sister Karen, for looking out early this morning, letting us know what to expect when we came down here to travel. It looked like it was going to be a little bit rough, but we were able to get in. The lot was clean, y'all. So they definitely taking care of us around this place. And let us understand one thing too, y'all. If anybody has questions or concerns on this new location, y'all, we'll never change doctrine. Right. We just change location.
That's it.
We're moving through the wilderness, so no need to worry. The Most High will always be with us. And like I say, when this truth go forth, what can stop it? We turn these places into so-called our places, so to speak. What you got, sir?
Keep Todd Shepherd.
Todd Shepherd? How Todd doing?
I haven't heard from him in a long time because I just kind of feel like he must be real lonely at this point. And his brother, that's my ex-husband, he found out that he had some type of lung disease or something. And I told him to get his relationship right with Christ.
That's right.
Yeah. They told him they didn't want to open up the tumor that was on his lung because he keeps smoking.
Well, and that's the problem we got. See, it's not him. It's a stronghold, and it may have 7 demons with it. And then he's battling between how much longer do I live, and he's trying to justify, well, if I get just a little bit more time. But what is he doing with the time? Is he drawing closer? And if you're not, so definitely pray for those individuals, y'all, as well as our brother and sister Uriah, sister Hananiah,
Yes, sir.
Agda, Emo, Naomi,
Israel.
Emo, Yisrael, and y'all, all our family over there. Thank you, sister. Need that. And y'all, for this disaster that's out in California, y'all, we got some fam out there. Sister Cassandra Sellers, y'all may see a lot. She got a lot of fam out there, y'all, and they got hit by them wildfires and had to get going.
Yeah.
So y'all, that's fire on one end and ice on the other.
Yes, sir.
The Most High is putting down some icy hot.
Yes, sir.
The real deal.
No doubt.
So y'all, with that, and also y'all, happy soul day to Brother Jacob.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's so bad.
Yes, sir.
Birthday, brother.
3 today, y'all.
Uh-oh.
Yes, sir.
Happy birthday, big man.
And y'all, to all of our supporters of the network and the radio station, thank y'all so much, y'all. So let's get it right at it. 1 Corinthians 15:45. And y'all, we're going to explain the difference of how you see the color of the Most High versus his servants or men on this earth. We can't mix the two. Dying flesh will never look like the Most High. Not dying flesh. That's why he told Mary, you can't touch me. I must have sinned. We can't have what's dying get next to righteousness and supernatural. It's going to create problems for us. So y'all, 1 Corinthians 15:45, we'll get going.
All right, family. I'm going to start the reading in the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15. Start the reading in verse 45.
I tell you what, back it up to 38.
That is
38, yes sir.
all right. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 38. But Yah giveth it a body as it hath pleased him, and to every seed his own body.
To every what?
Seed his own body.
So when we understand that plants have a body, animals have body, man have body, and they're after their kind.
Exactly.
So when you hear mankind, it's just saying man is designed after this kind.
Right.
So y'all, it's not saying it's some other group of people. It's what it is. It's like tree kind, apple, pear, orange.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's mankind. Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Y'all understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, read some more.
Verse 39.
Yeah.
All flesh is not the same flesh.
Read that again.
All flesh is not the same flesh.
Right.
But there is one kind of flesh of men,
Right.
another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds. There are also celestial bodies.
What kind of bodies?
Celestial bodies.
So that's bodies in the heavens. You know, it's a different realm. Go ahead.
And bodies terrestrial.
And that's what we are, bodies terrestrial. Go ahead.
But the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another.
Let's get this understood. We must understand that there are different bodies. One contains no sin in the flesh and the other one does. The one that contains sin cannot go and dwell where the one that has no sin in it. It can't be around. Little leaven do what? That problem was fixed in the heavens long ago, before Adam, when that leavening called Satan and his group was thrown out. So y'all, it'll never allow the two to mix. Go ahead, what else it say?
Verse 41.
Yeah.
There is one glory of the sun,
Uh-huh.
and another glory of the moon,
Uh-huh.
and another glory of the stars. For one star differeth from another star in glory.
So y'all understand that, but this is celestial. So we're talking about power in the heavens, in the universe. So the sun is brilliance. Ain't never had a blowed out light bulb in the sun. The sun been working since the fourth day of creation, ain't it?
Yeah.
And so has the moon. So that keeps us on focus. So, you know, when you hear people talk about the feast days in Leviticus 24, they don't understand the very first feast day that we must keep is the Sabbath.
Yes, sir.
That's the very first one. See, so when you have people fasting on the Sabbath, it's a problem only if you don't understand fasting on the Sabbath. If there's critical, if there's something need to be had, then you fast on the Sabbath. Otherwise, the Sabbath is a feast. Y'all understand what I'm saying? It's a feast. So we must provide spiritual bread first and then physical on the Sabbath. Now, the problem is the Sabbath never changes because it's the one before we got out into the wilderness. So we must understand that it will be hard that what you don't see in Leviticus 23, the new moon, as a feast day. But we know it's a feast day, right?
Yes, sir.
But why isn't it in Leviticus 23? And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because Purim and the Feast of Dedication that we just did are coming. They're not in Leviticus 23. Now we know everybody kept the new moon. David was missing at the table on Saul. It says we'll keep the new moon again in the new kingdom. So we know it exists, but it's just not in Leviticus 23. We're to do them, but we have what's called the big seven. And then we have what's called like civil feast days, so to speak. So the big seven is the ones that almost ordained because it really draws us closer. The new moons are like, if you compare it to this nation, like Labor Day, Veterans Day, things like that, once a year memorials that you keep. But we have to understand, for all of those who want to exclude the sun and just use the moon calendar, you're going to always have a problem leaving out the sun, because ain't no celebration for the new moon listed if y'all want to play that game. Y'all understand what I'm saying? If you want to say y'all can't do dedication and Purim, then y'all can't do the new moon. But we're not going to play those games, y'all. We don't have to. So go ahead, y'all, pick it up some more.
Verse 42.
Yeah.
So also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption. It is raised in incorruption.
So y'all, this is what we have to be certain of. If you say somebody going to heaven and you talk to them and you see them and you still talking about they mention worldly things or concerned with worldly things around her, you win a championship game and I felt Big Mama hurt. Big Mama ain't worried about this game. And what type of clothes did she have on? Was it splendid white, brilliant, that almost blinded you when she came in the game and everybody in the stands did like that? Oh, that's his Big Mama.
No, it was the moo she always got on.
Come on. So y'all, we can't even have that thought that we could send dying flesh up there that ain't been resurrected yet and say it's worthy to be amongst that. It has rules for that. Let's get some more.
Verse 43.
Yeah.
It is sown in dishonor. It is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness. It is raised in power. It is sown a natural body. It is raised a spiritual body. There is a natural body and there is a spiritual body. And so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul.
That's right.
The last Adam was made a quickening spirit. Howbeit, that was not first which is spiritual, but that which is natural, and afterward that which is spiritual. The first man is of the earth, earthy. The second man is the Most High from heaven. As is the earthy, such are they also that are earthy. And as is the heavenly, such are they also that are heavenly. And as we have borne the image of the earthy.
What image have we borne?
The image of the earthy. We shall also bear the image of the heavenly. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of Yah, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed.
So we can hold there, y'all can read the rest of that. But why we want to get to that is because when we're identifying color in the Bible, and we go to certain scriptures to show what's in the heaven, too, about what's going on.
Oh, I was trying to read Sister comment.
Oh, man, yeah, just let us know. Ain't nothing wrong with the comment. Yeah, yes, sir.
But Sharon Payman comment asks, let's see if you can decipher this. She asks, is the Sabbath literally speaking every Sabbath?
Well, what other day you gonna use? And what we're talking about is time. And what we're talking about, time is based off the birth of Messiah. When you trace this all the way back to his birth, you ain't got no other way of measuring time. Even when you go to Egyptology, they'll say 3,500 years what? BC. Or if it's after Christ's crucifixion and resurrection, it's AD. Ain't no demeanor, meaning after the death of Christ. So what we're talking about, when you're using that scale, the devil can't trick you with time. So what he does is puts it right in your face, because you may see Monday, but he said that's just what we call it. The script called it day 1, day 2, all the way through to day 7. If you want to just say Sunday, day 1, that's what you can say. If you want to say Monday is day 2 of the week. And guess what? You know what else they do on the calendar? They have moon phases on there. So you don't get out of touch with your feast days. But it's letting you know the moon controls the feast days, the sun controls the Sabbath, because the sun never breaks rank. The moon will decrease, it will increase, it's unstable, so to speak. So being your Sabbath is a rest forever, it's compared more to the sun. That it's going to be light always, because there's no darkness in the kingdom, right? There's no lesser light. And the Messiah, he says he's 10,000 times the sun in its strength. Nothing's compared to the moon. The moon control when we do our feast days. If that was the case, then our feast days would have to be on the same day, like Christmas, like Thanksgiving, like these days like this. But it's not designed that way. Our feast days are designed to move within that season. It may be like Passover last year was early at what? The early part of April or the later part of April 22nd. Forecast is this week to be a little bit earlier, maybe 2 weeks earlier. I believe it's around April the 6th or something this year, but we'll double check that up. Jake will be putting out the calendar soon, so we'll get in tune with it. But these are the reasons why the sun is the greater light. The moon gets its light from the sun. You can't have it in dominant position. And that's why the moon is considered the mother and the sun is considered the father. You know, because the moon is like the woman, and that's where they compare. And the sun is like the father. Remember, Joseph had a dream. He said he saw the sun and the moon and the stars bowing to him. They knew exactly what he meant. They like, so you telling me mom and daddy gonna bow to you as well as your big brothers? He said, that's what the vision looked like. And the vision came true when they went to Egypt, because all of them did exactly that. So y'all, let's get right to it. We ain't gonna belabor it anymore. So we understand the different bodies. So we have to understand the difference. And when you identify the Most High, you cannot look at them like you're looking at us, because you bring them down a peg. And that's what these camps is doing. Then they can point to an individual with rotten flesh and say, this individual is the third in command of all heaven and earth. And then when somebody come in to question the doctrine, he go get a can of pomade and slick his hair back. I'm talking about that hair would move out of place if he slept under some rocks.
Is that Mary?
Man, Mary's a super glue pomade. And then you dress up straight and you expecting us to believe you third of command of all heaven? And you saying an earthly man?
Oh, Lord.
Time out, y'all, for us to continue to be children in this walk. Ezekiel, 1st chapter. Who got something?
Yeah,
What you got? Who got?
I got a question here that's off subject. Brother Brand New in the chat asked, let me scroll back up to it, give me one moment.
What's that brother's name?
Brand New.
Okay.
And asked a question for our personal discussion from that we need clarity on. If a married man has an affair with an unmarried woman, is this considered adultery or just fornication? And I asked them if this was a serious question, just making sure they weren't playing.
Well,
like, no, it's not.
I understand that.
It's only considered adultery if you messing with another married woman.
Absolutely, bro. You're 100% right. Now, fornication, the level of that is you bring in like this polygamy, because you can only have one marriage certificate. If you go get another woman and say, this is my wife, and you have no power of protection over her, then technically you're taking on a woman that's having illegal intercourse with a man that says he's her husband, but he hasn't had a formal wedding ceremony. So what you're doing, that's what Paul meant when he said you could bring a harlot to your marriage or to that. He said you can't do that. He said because unless you give her unless you put protection over her, then all you doing is bringing a side chick in, and when you bring that in, then what that means is she can have a side dude. Because you don't have no control of that.
That's right.
All you do is may say you can come here and stay with the rest of them, but you ain't got number one marriage certificate. Now, harlot is not, there's levels of it. There's a woman that may have been tricked out of her virginity because she was tricked. We can't say she's a virgin anymore. So the title harlot only means she's had intercourse without a husband. Now, if she likes that and start practicing it, then she becomes a whore. There's two different things. Look at Samson, Judges 14. Look at Solomon when he split the baby. There was 2 harlots living in one house. It didn't say it was a whore house. It said that 2 women was in this house and they had babies by an individual and they had no power of protection. The babies looked just alike because one rolled over on the baby and killed it, and the other one say, that's my baby. Now, if these were 2 different individuals or 2 different daddies, you know that what your baby looked like that came out of you. But apparently they look so close together, like men, if they have babies by more than one woman, those children will look just alike. And usually the outside child look more like the daddy than the one that's married. So y'all, but Solomon never asked where the daddy was before he decided to split a baby in half and give each one of them half. Where is the daddy in court? Neither did he charge the woman or them women in the house with bad behavior, because men trick women out of their virginity. And that don't mean that she could have had one man in her life, her whole life, but we can't call her virgin. When she marries, her name changed to what? Y'all understand what I'm saying? It's not as bad as it seems, only if that behavior is practiced. And then, you know, you get what you see on the street corners. But we can't publicly say her father can't take that sheep from the honeymoon and store it up and prove that she's a virgin. It's gonna have a different color of red if she's not. Y'all understand? And there was price for virgin, high price. You ain't gonna get this for free. You ain't gonna get this hoboing legally. Y'all see what Abraham sent to get Rebecca, Isaac's wife? Clothes, jewelry. He let them know your daughter will be taken care of well. She'll have protection on her, and spiritually the same way, y'all. We're gonna get into a little bit of Ezekiel 16 is on the list, so we'll tighten it up even more too bad. But without power of protection, if you can only have, let me say this real quick, John. If you only have one marriage certificate, you still say, well, I done messed with her, I don't want to just throw her away. You need to get a power of attorney and have her sign it and say, anything that happens to me, this man is in charge. Because if you don't, ain't nothing coming to you. Absolutely zero. You have zero power without a certificate. Legally. So y'all, let's not fool ourselves and play this game. You know, because all it does is when they get tired, they throw them away and then they send them back to the pot. And women have to be extra careful that they don't continue to fall into them silly women mode. And you know, if he shows up at 3 o'clock in the morning, he ain't got no wedding party with him. His groomsmen ain't there unless he's got Puffy with him. Then it's a whole different thing. Let's get some more. What you got tonight?
Computer here in the chat. Casey Fields is asking, so sex workers who hate what they do won't be considered whores?
Yeah, you just said, you said sex workers.
Yeah. Right.
So they're a prostitute, just like a whoremonger is a male prostitute.
If I hate doing something, I'm gonna stop doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
So if what they're trying to do is bring that to the regular mainstream, like that's what happened. Strip club just came to the mainstream, and now it's being accepted as normal versus the other way around. So when you see strippers praying, it got to be, or hopefully it's for safety that a maniac ain't in there. But you know what you're gonna get when you do that. Right. So y'all, we ain't gonna belabor that because we want to get back to that, but we'll get into that Ezekiel 16. It'll help clear up what the question was. Is that good? Yes, sir.
What you were referring to is you have to offer a dowry.
For a virgin, yes, sir.
Virgin.
For any woman that's in a man's house, his daughter, because she's there under his protection, he's feeding her, he's clothing her, he's doing all these things. So if you think you can just come take her, you're gonna have some problem of righteous men in Israel. They didn't do that. In these scripts, there's something called shotgun wedding. You get a virgin and you trick her. The law says you can go to their house. They have to get married that day, and he can never ever divorce her. There's no divorce clause. It ain't no freebies and I'm gone and I was number one on the list. None of that. You've ruined her for life, y'all. And y'all have to understand what David had sons by different women. His one son raped the sister of the other brother. And she was a virgin. What else? What happened? And she begged him. She said, we probably could arrange some type of marriage, but don't rape me. You put me in this status. Now, if I never have another man, I still have this wound that everybody gonna be pointing at me. If another man never comes in her life for 20 years, it's always gonna be this. You know, a brother raped her. What? It's gonna ride that. So y'all, that's all we need to understand, and we have to look at ourselves the same way. We're in a marriage covenant with the Most High. We can't float around. We can't bring in a harlot doctrine. How you gonna bring in a doctrine of crystals and chakras and creator gangs and tomfoolery and Nick Rose say they third in command? How you gonna bring that harlotry into this marriage covenant and it says you can't? There's one cup that the bride and groom share at this wedding ceremony, and it's got the same covenants in it. You don't bring that trauma and that trash with it. Let's get some more, y'all.
We're going to be reading in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 1.
Yes, sir.
We'll start the reading in verse 1.
Ezekiel 1 and 1.
Yes,
Verse
ma'am.
1, yeah, we're going to read this chapter. And y'all, it's very important in here because this is a vision of Ezekiel seeing supernatural. And you're going to see that it's virtually impossible to put a color on the face or to say it looks like these individuals and you tie that color to a nation of people. When you say black, but before we do that too, you got that ham you could put up?
Yes, sir.
Because this is what you're going to have to do every time you say black Hebrew Israelite or black people or the chosen people of God. This is how it describes ham. What say, can y'all see that? As soon as Tubai put it up. Oh, he got it in his Zondervan. No, I'm saying, can you put it up on the screen for people to see? Yeah, put it up there, yeah.
It may be a delay, you looking at it on the camera.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a delay. You looking over here?
Okay, so what you say, yeah. No, I'm saying that, yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Oh, man. Boy, that's crazy.
So, read that definition if you will. This is what happens if we chase black Hebrew Israelite or black, the color black, anything. Go ahead, read what it says.
Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark skin of the dark race.
Hold it right there. Ham became the progenitor of the dark races. Now where we at when we talk about black Hebrew Israelite? It's saying Ham and all his descendants is the dark, but there's a clue in there. What does it say, Tubai?
It says, he became the progenitor of the dark skin race, of the dark races. Not the Negro.
Not the who?
Not the Negro. But the Egyptian, Ethiopian,
Yeah.
Libyan, and Canaanites.
Right. So all of those are black people. Why wouldn't they fit as a black Hebrew Israelite? You're still going to be forced to go down and prove nationhood. Just get rid of all of that black talk and get right to the nationhood. The people who God said, that's who I'm going to choose to spread my word. It ain't got nothing to do with color. It ain't got nothing to do with Israelite. It's got to do with obedience and disobedience. And we just happen to be the people to go through that prophecy. We just happen to look the color we are. But we're not. I mean, there'd be no way to separate black when we just read what Ham was. You understand what I'm saying? There's multiple black people. You still gonna have to get down to nationhood because there'll be no dark-skinned people you can exclude.
Right.
You got that other one too, Bob? Can you show that one too?
Yeah, when the Sarah.
Yeah. Now, and while we ask this, we're gonna put up Nasar. He was the president or the king of Egypt at the time, or Syria, one of them. And he said the Jews left black and they came back white. What does that mean? How do we know unless we get it back into prophecy? Unless we get it back into nationhood and understand it perfectly. Is it chilling off in here, y'all? Y'all may want to crank that thermostat if y'all feel a little chilly. Go ahead.
Oh, you see, read that?
Yeah.
It says, when he was asked about peace in the Middle East, the late president of Egypt, how you say that, Gamal
Abdel.
Nasser stated, the Jews will never be able to live here in peace because they left her black but came back white.
So now, white, how far does white go? Which set of white came back? You know, if people say there's multiple groups of white people, which set came back? To claim it, to come back and say the Jews, they're white Jews. But there's black Jews. Which black Jews come back?
Excuse me, what is the term?
It's on the other side of the heater right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's called a thermostat.
Commonly known as that heat turner.
Attached to the heater.
Let's get it, y'all. Y'all gonna understand exactly what we're saying, y'all, when we continue to read on. It's gonna come crystal clear that prophecy gonna override color. Go ahead, what you say?
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Yeah.
Now it came to pass in the 30th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river Kabar,
Right.
that the heavens were open, and I saw visions of Yah.
You see how he wrote this down? He said, he told you it was the 4th month and the 5th day of the month. So if you want to trace this back when that happened, he wrote it down like the instructions told him to. Write that vision down so people know it came from God. And if it don't come to pass, you're going to be stoned to death.
There you go.
Go ahead.
Verse 2.
Yeah.
In the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of King Jehoiakim's captivity, the word of the Most High came expressly unto Ezekiel the priest, the son of Buzi, in the land of the Chaldeans by the river Kabar. And the hand of the Most High was there upon him. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire.
So it said amber was seen through the fire. So if y'all picture Independence Day, that movie, when they first saw that spaceship, it was clouds and fire enfolding itself. And then them clouds moved away and that ship came right through, and that's what stunned everybody. So this is the exact vision, because there's no imagination out there but what's written. Hollywood get all of its stories from this book. Y'all, unless it's a thermostat on that radiator right there, it looked like something's on there. Look behind me, man. But go ahead, read a little bit more.
Verse 5.
Yeah.
Also, out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures. And this was their appearance.
Hold on, before we go there, I want to look up the color of amber, because this will help us and we won't see the word black. Y'all understand what I'm saying? You see, as the color of amber. So if somebody will just look up amber real quick, we want to see what that color looks like, and it came out of the fire. This is what Ezekiel's seeing. And so far I see a black man, you know, in heaven. God does not look like a black man. Supernatural or celestial is always compared to brilliance. It's not a people, it's not a nation, it's compared to brilliance. Yes, it's in the image like we are, but was Adam a black man? Was Adam a black man, or was Adam formed from dust? He returns to dust. So
It's like green, yellow, red.
that's amber. Yeah. Read what amber say in color. The color of amber.
The colors, it says green, yellow, red, blue, brown, and orange. It's all one. They're all combined.
All together.
Yeah,
But it should say translucent yellow
On the-
color. It should be
In the Webster Dictionary, it
Yeah.
says a hard yellowish to brownish translucent fossil resin that takes a fine polish and is used chiefly in making ornamental objects.
So that's what it's saying, what I saw. I saw something compared to this coming out of that fire. It was the color of amber. So you don't get caught up in chasing a black man, looking for somebody blue-black, because that's what you would be doing. You have to look at, well, then what individual on earth looked the color of amber? Because this is how it's describing it.
Right, but every time they said it was an image or like a supreme face.
Absolutely.
Because
So
it shined so
It was
bright,
too bright.
you couldn't even see what his face even looked like. Even when they say in Enoch, when he talks about the throne, he said there's a rainbow.
that's what we're talking about, Lottie. We're gonna get right to it. Y'all, because what we're looking at is brilliance. I want y'all to understand what we're saying here. It's not looking at like rotten flesh like us to compare God to this, what this looks like, and to say this will prove that what's up there looks like this sinner. It doesn't look like that. It's in the image of that, but it's not corruptible. So the shine is going to be better, if that makes sense to y'all. You know, like you could have went to the what's that shoe shine Paul on St. Louis Avenue, and you know right there. Yes, A1 now used to be the best shoe shine house or whatever it was called. You got your shoe shine there, people knew because the shine was brilliant. Versus you just in your room with some polish and said, I used to be pretty good at this. Right. There'll be a difference with what they do and the techniques they use to have them shoes looking like they glass. Right. You have to look at everything that's written about up there from that perspective, not from this dull perspective. Let's get some more.
The book of Ezekiel chapter 1 and verse 5
Yeah.
from the top. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures. And this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man.
What did they have the likeness of?
Of a man.
So we get again that they're shaped just like we are. Because everything is in the form of the Most High, but this is just something, it has another word for this particular heavenly being. Go ahead.
And everyone had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings, and their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass.
What they sparkle like?
The color of burnished brass.
So if you will, give me burnished brass, because it's only going to be these particular colors that it keep comparing it to. Burnished brass, amber, the other ones are green, like emerald. When he say my thighs are emerald, so we got a black-faced man, white arms, and green thighs.
No.
Is that what we in the image of? Or do we not understand or only want to pick out certain colors that we see and apply it to make it fit us? No, prophecy don't make it fit us. And when we do what he say, then we look like that. Our brilliance will show through like that.
But again, I was reading it in the Jubilees and also, and it said that he meticulously created us, thought about how he wanted to form us.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so awesome because he didn't just haphazardly make us. He took the time and thought about everything that goes with our lives.
Absolutely. And everything after, like I say, the nations copy off of it. A car is designed just like us. It has all of the same parts, the wheels, and if you look at it, it has a brain in it, in the car. So all of that lets you know where they got their information from and their design.
Yes.
This body fixes itself.
Yes.
You know, if it gets in trouble, it'll correct itself.
It will.
If it has to get help to correct itself, but any foreign part that comes in this body is going to require a side effect.
Yes, sir.
So even though the Antichrist will make some see, he will make some walk, but it's going to be artificial intelligence, meaning iron and miry clay ain't going to never mix. There's always going to have to be a medicine taken because it can't cure it whole. It fixes it almost to a whole status. A person ain't never seen before now could see his loved one, but he'll never see it like these 2 eyes, nor will he never see it like that glory up there. And what I mean by that, if you're paralyzed, you're walking in your dreams. How do you see visions in your dream with these eyes closed? So you're looking through the soul eyes, which never die, which never deteriorate. That's the image of God. That's what's immortal within you. Satan is trying to get you to corrupt that because the flesh is already through. He's saying if I can get to your immortal and damage it up, then you can't dwell with God. It's impossible for you to dwell with God if your soul has marks. If that perfect making becomes damaged, you won't get into that kingdom. Nobody paralyzed will be rolling in a wheelchair up to judgment day because they have to bow down. They'll walk up there in that supernatural form because it could have been something got them put in that position that where their flesh had to suffer like that. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Let's read a little bit more.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. And then I was reading, seeing some part that in China they said they have this whole army of robots that they have made go out, but they made them in the image of man.
Absolutely, everything in this Bible, Hollywood, everything is from the Bible. So you have to understand, but it's an imitation. It's not the real thing. Cars rust away and they go away. Everything is corruptible, made by man. It has a corruption date on it. I don't care how you store a car up. There's going to be something that fails in it because the car is not immortal, so to speak. That's why all of these spaceships you hear that crashes, those are man-made. Supernatural don't crash. They ain't never found a supernatural aircraft.
Thank you.
Go ahead, what we got?
Back in the book of
Then we
Ezekiel.
reading burnish,
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead.
burnish to make shiny or lustrous, especially by rubbing.
Uh-huh.
And then brass is an alloy consisting essentially of copper and zinc in variable portions.
So yes, that looks like the color of a lot of us, but we range from high yellow to blue black. Because it said we look kind of like a speckled bird, but what I'm trying to get it understood here is that brilliance, and when you're looking at majesty, when you're looking at talk about aura, those are the only things you're going to get. If that covenant hadn't came to us and it went to Ishmael, what color would we say he was? How would the scripture fit him? Or what if it fell on Ham? How would it fit him? How would you say we're like burnished brass and majority of them are blue black? But we would have to exclude the blue blacks in Israel, wouldn't we? You would have to if you based it off of color of skin. It's not talking about that. It only lists the gems that are brilliant, like the kingdom. Diamonds and pearls will cost heavy money. And y'all, we're gonna get into the wool aspect versus the gray and hoary head. And we're gonna see some difference in there when you're talking about glory versus just the texture of one hair. Because woolly hair could be laying behind the liquor store for a week straight.
Wow.
It'll be full of blanket lint, real wool. Y'all understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Let's get some more.
Back in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 1, and we're reading in verse 8.
Yeah.
And they had the hands of a man under their wings on their four sides. And they four had their faces and their wings. Their wings were joined one to another. They turned not when they went. They went every one straight forward. As for the likeness of their faces, they four had the face of a man, and the face of a lion on the right side. And they four had the face of an ox on the left side. They four also had the face of an eagle. Thus were their faces, and their wings were stretched upward. 2 wings of every one were joined one to another, and 2 covered their bodies. And they went every one straight forward, whither their spirit was to go, they went. And they turned not when they went. As for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like burning coals of fire.
Like burning coals of fire. Even though coals are black, when they're burning with fire, what color they turn?
Red.
Red, that translucent, that red, that when you're just looking in the fire, like we at campfire, y'all, and you're just looking at that wool bound, that ember, the way them colors, that amber color and that red, and you know that that's hot, but you see that power in that,
Yeah.
how it's glowing. You know, go ahead and read some more.
And like the appearance of lamps, it went up and down among the living creatures, and the fire was bright. and out of the fire went forth lightning, and the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning.
So you see the Mel Gibson movie Signs, I believe that was, where notice that when they were looking under the cracks, it had calves' feet. So they're still in bits and parts of it. They try to make one part of it look like it's an alien coming to get you. But then they show you things like they're reading right here about the creatures. These creatures have a specific job. They're pilots of what you call God's chariot. These are the ones who drive those chariots. That's their only job, is to drive those chariots. You remember Independence Day when Will Smith supposedly knocked one out and dragged it back? If you look at it and you read these descriptions, it's almost similar. So they know what's going on. They just try to have to interpret it from a lesser perspective and take the glory away from it and make it equal to man. Notice they saying we've been attacked from UFO, but we can defeat them. They got an Achilles heel. We can just put water on them and they die. They're not good at that. Then what are you scared of them for? Let's get some more.
Verse 15.
Yeah.
Now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures, with his 4 faces. The appearance of the wheel and their work was like unto the color of a burrow.
Color of burrow. Give me some burrow.
Burrow lines?
Yeah, not him. Yeah.
And they 4 had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel.
So that's why you always see when they see a UFO or draw a UFO, whenever you see it, it always appears to be what's written in the scripture. It's not their design, but a wheel inside a wheel. Y'all, I'm trying to do Elijah. You know what I'm doing. So they have eyes around the Bible. Yeah. See, a wheel inside a wheel with a bunch of eyes. That's how that look like. Is that pretty good? That's close to it, ain't it?
Look like a hat.
Yeah.
And that's his professional.
So y'all is kind of related to that, but that's what they're describing, a chariot of God. That's the same chariot that led us out of Egypt. You read in Exodus 14 and Exodus 19 chapter. The same exact way. It don't change. There's no other travel method. Every prophet, every dreamer have the same identity of this what's recorded. Nobody changes perspective, so to speak. Go ahead, where we at?
Beryl, a mineral consisting of a silicate of beryllium and aluminum of great hardness that occurs in colorless hexagonal prisms when pure and in various colors, such as green, blue, yellow, pink, and when not pure, that is valued as a source of gems.
So beryl is a source of gems again, so you can see he's comparing it. And why they have to do that? They have to give us something that we can look at, that we look at as brilliant. If it said anything else, we wouldn't look at it the same way. He wants you to look at it like when you find that in the earth, you know you got money, you know you got something that's rare. If you found a diamond this big, what do you think you got right now? You find a diamond this big. Well, what you got? You got generational wealth if you find a diamond that big. Y'all understand? And that's what the kingdom is like. So it compares that. So it don't want you to take your mind and look at us dying flesh. It wants you to look at what can't die and what's the same contents that's on the gates or down here on earth, because he put them on the priest's breastplate. Why do you think he put them on the priest? The one who's sanctified and next to the Most High, so to speak. And he put that on Aaron's breastplate to represent the children of Israel. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what we have to look at continually, of brilliance. Not the color we are, because you're going to have to explain for Sudanese that look like us, or somebody say, almost look like a brother, don't he? You're going to have to go through all of that, but if you stick with prophecy, which cannot fail, you won't have to go through that. Let's get some more.
Verse 17.
Yeah.
When they went upon their 4 sides, and they turned not when they went. As for their rings, They were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them four.
So it would look like windows and what you see as a spaceship, all of those windows, so to speak. But y'all see them when they make them, because they're reading this and design. Go ahead.
Verse 19. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. Whithersoever the spirit was to go, they went. Thither was their spirit to go. And the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheel. When those went, these went. And when those stood, these stood. And when those were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheel.
Now we're going to jump to firmament, but to let you know that what Ezekiel saw is the same thing that's in Revelation. So let's just jump real quick and we're going to come back to this. Revelation chapter 4, 1 through 3. And we're going to see the same beast, y'all, surrounding the throne, because it's consistency, y'all. And it got nothing to do with when we get to angels and how they look. We're going to get clear on that as well. You know, because Lucifer was an angel, wasn't he?
Yes,
so we need to know when his color changed. If all the other angels are so-called black, what happened to Lucifer? How did he become white? What did he do? Because when we read in the Enoch, it says his intelligence or appearance didn't change.
Right.
Because it can't change. You know why? Because if it does change, then these scriptures change for your understanding. Lucifer ain't never said, I look like a different person now. He said, I look the same. That same brilliance you saw, the same color you see in them other angels, I look the same way. If it wasn't so, how do we keep getting tricked? Let's get some more.
Revelations chapter 4, verse 1.
Yeah.
After this, I looked.
Hold on, Zeb. Everybody have Revelation chapter 4? Go ahead.
After this, I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven. And the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet talking with me, which said, Come up hither, and I will show thee things which must be hereafter. And immediately I was in the spirit.
In the flesh.
In the spirit.
Okay.
And behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. And he that sat was to look upon like a jasper or a sardius.
And a sardius.
And a sardius stone.
So real quick, while he holding, give me jasper and sardine, because it said, this is what I saw this one look like, and this John the Revelator. Now the first vision was the prophet Ezekiel. Now this John of the island of Patmos, I should say. John the Revelator. So we get our colors together, y'all, and when we get to man, when you get one line with scriptures, and they just show you, see right there, it says he's black, and you don't read before and after, you're going to chase color doctrine. Go ahead, what did it say, bro?
The thing taking a little while to get there.
Okay.
Come on, man.
We holding up, ain't we too bad?
Oh, no, so
Okay.
I'm sorry, stone.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
Jasper, an opaque or cryptocrystalline quartz of any of several colors, especially green.
Especially what?
Especially green, Caledonia.
So we see that he was to look on was looking like he was green. So, or you saying he got gangrene? Well, you know, it's almost like when people say the Jews were olive skinned. Well, there's only two olives when you're looking at color, black and green. So which one were they? You know, well, neither, because they ain't black nor green. You know, we're never compared to an olive. Nowhere in the Bible are we compared to that as in brilliance or as a people. Not green and black eyes.
Right.
That's something we threw in there. Go ahead, what else you got there?
That's it on that.
Okay, what's
You
the
got sardines?
what it say too about?
It says sardius, from the root meaning red.
Meaning what?
Meaning red.
Uh-huh.
A gem of a blood red color.
A gem of a blood red color.
It is called sardius because obtained from sardius in Lydia. It is innumerable among the precious stones.
Among the what kind of stone?
Amongst the precious stones.
That's the key word I'm looking for, because the Most High is always compared to precious and brilliance. Y'all understand what I'm saying? You can't point it to an individual like us and say that's what God looks like, this failing flesh. Do that make sense, y'all? Let's get some more.
Verse 3 again.
Yeah.
And he that sat was looked upon like a jasper or a sardine stone, and there was a rainbow round about the throne.
And we see that same thing in Genesis 8:9. Go ahead.
In sight like unto an emerald.
So when we look up emerald, y'all gonna see that's green as well.
A rich green variety of beryl prized as a gemstone.
A what kind of stone?
Prized gemstone.
A prized gemstone. Y'all see how it keep talking about comparing it to brilliance, not to shaping in iniquity. Go ahead, what else it say?
Round about the throne were 24 seats, and upon the seats I saw 24 elders sitting, clothed in white raiment.
What were they clothed in?
In white raiment. And they had on their heads crowns of gold.
So this don't go away with for us inside Genesis and Revelation of what they had. 2nd Ezra 2, 2nd Ezra 7 say crowns on their head, white robes. Revelation 6 and 9, crowns on their head, white robes. It don't change. If you see Big Mama up there and she got them same clubbing clothes on, it's a problem.
Go not.
Go ahead.
You just want to go to 40.
Yeah, no, we're gonna
back to that.
I want to get down to them beats, verse 9.
Oh, okay. So
Read
jump to
on
9.
down.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said jump.
Read on down.
No, read on down.
Okay.
To
Verse 5.
Yeah.
And out of the throne proceeded lightnings and thunderings and voices, and there were 7 lamps of fire burning before the throne.
Y'all see that? The Manoah was there. Go ahead. But they represented the Holy Spirit. Go ahead.
Which are the 7 spirits of Yahweh.
Uh-huh.
And before the throne there was a sea of glass like unto crystal.
What was that sea of glass like unto?
Like unto crystal.
Y'all see that because we know what crystal is like, and you get a fabulous part of it. And your famous dinner words like that, those glasses, that's very crystal, they say. Yeah, that means you just can't drink Kool-Aid out of it. You better not pull them out of there to drink Kool-Aid or some rock gut liquor.
Right.
You put some R&R in this crystal. Let's get some more.
And in the midst of the throne and round about the throne were 4 beasts full of eyes before and behind. And the first beast was like a lion, and the second beast like a calf, and the third beast had a face as a man, and the fourth beast was like a flying eagle. And the 4 beasts had each of them 6 wings about them, and they were full of eyes within. And they rest not day and night, saying, Holy, 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 Lord God Almighty, which was and is to come. And when those beasts give glory,
what they give?
And when those beasts give glory and honor and thanks to him that sat on the throne, who lived forever and ever, the 24 elders fall down before him that sat on the throne and worship him that lived forever and ever, and cast their crowns before the throne, saying, Thou art worthy, O Elohim, to receive glory and honor and power, for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created.
They're not for our pleasure, but for his pleasure. We were created for his pleasure. So we can't flip the script and say, he created us so that he could have a glory and we look like him. You know, it's backwards, y'all. That's like the wisdom of what? Solomon, 4th chapter. It tells you The difference, it says man will do that. And that wisdom of that other Solomon 14, that where it says graven image. That's why when you get to the third, make no graven images of anything in the likeness up there. See, because if you make it like that and then bring it down here and say we're worthy of what's up there, what's the reason of even wanting to go there or wanting that to come here if you already got it? But we don't. That's why men keep saying, well, we gods, but they keep missing part 2 of that script. But you're going to die like who?
Like
a man.
You may look like God, but you're going to die like Adam.
Right.
Until the change comes. Y'all feel me on that? So the best jewels we going to get for us, it's earthly. It's like what Esau got, but he didn't get that heavenly blessing like Jacob got. It's 2 different things. Because one says he should be your Lord because his blessing was glory, splendor, and honor. Esau's was to rule planet Earth. Same type of gem, but only with an earthly perspective. It will do nothing for dying flesh. You can just wear it. It'll enhance the flesh and make it look good. And somebody may say, you got them jewels on. That boy blinking. Puffy was blinking, but what was underneath? Let's get some more.
We're going to be back in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 1, and we're at verse 22.
Yes, sir.
And it reads, And the likeness of the firmament came up, and the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creatures was as the color of the terrible crystal, stretched forth over their heads above. And under the firmament were their wings straight, the one toward the other. Every one had 2 which covered on this side, and every one had 2 which covered on that side, their bodies. And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings like the noise of great waters, as the voice of the Almighty, the voice of speech, as the noise of an host. When they stood, they let down their wings. And there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads, when they stood and had let down their wings.
Now look, it keeps saying a voice over their head. So they're beneath the throne. You understand that elders are beneath the throne and they bow down. So it's keeping the order. It's not allowing them to go above. Go ahead, what else to say?
Verse 26.
Yeah.
And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone.
So now we see what the throne looked like. Go ahead.
And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man above upon it. And I saw as the color of amber.
You see how this color is consistent throughout. It ain't going to change. Amber is going to be the color that you see. It's the color of brilliance, and fire comes out of it. Let's get some more. Because it's powered by the Holy Spirit. Go ahead. That's why when we make fire, we make it look like that. What y'all laughing at?
You keep saying go ahead and then you start.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Yeah.
Verse 20.
Yeah.
And I saw as the color of amber, as the appearance of fire round about within it, from the appearance of his loins even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even down. I saw as it were the appearance of fire, and it had brightness round about.
See, now look, it only showed us from the loins down and the loins upward. So it would only show us so much of the Most High that would get us in trouble. You understand? Never show its face. We ain't never seen his face in his glory. We can see the loins from the loins downward and the loins upward. So technically all you can say is, I see the legs of a man. These look like the legs of a man. But do you see black legs?
Right.
Do you see white legs? What are the colors that you see? Amber again, y'all. But it's only comparing it to the amber stone. Something that we can physically look at and not chase the color of a man. Let's get some more.
Verse 28.
Yeah.
As the appearance of the bow that is in the cloud in the day of rain, so was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Most High.
Read that again.
This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Most High. And when I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of one that spake.
So he said he saw it. He said, this is the appearance of God. He said, I fell on my face, but notice he never did see his face.
Right.
He crashed down on his kneecap because he knows this is at a whole nother level. But what color did he see? He saw a rainbow around the throne, but I'm talking about the color of the loins up with the down, or the color of amber, the color of fire and brilliance. If you ever just stir at a campfire and you see those brilliant colors in there, you may see some blue in that flame. And you say, you just look at that, you say that's brilliance. I like to just be in the midst of that.
Yeah, okay.
But some tell you, don't you go in the midst of that yet. So let's get this next one, y'all, so we keep it moving.
Make sure the power on before you go up in there.
Revelation 1, verse 13 through 16. And we're going to see the brilliance of Messiah and see once again, are we looking at a black man, so to speak, or are we looking at brilliance, omnipotence, majesty on an individual in his look?
What do you say you're going down?
Revelation chapter 1. You got any questions out there too, Bob? Y'all, and we're going to get to the man part here, y'all, very shortly. I just want to run through majesty and the celestial bodies before we get to the terrestrial bodies. And you're going to see the big difference in how you identify, y'all.
I think Sister Betty Lemons in the chat earlier asked, are you
Shalom,
saying,
Sister Betty Lemons.
she said something along the lines of, are you saying there can't be male whores?
Yeah.
So she
Huh?
misunderstood something you were saying.
What happened? I said,
She asked, are you saying that there can't be male whores?
There can't
yeah,
be male.
yeah, there's a ton of them. They call pimps and gigolos.
Right.
Yeah, they have, women call them dogs.
Right.
That's why I say you can't bring the price of a dog into the temple.
That's right.
You can't bring that whoremonger money up in here. That's mattress money.
Right.
I know you have an opinion.
I got you. Yes, I do. Go ahead. Yo, let's get some more of this. Revelation chapter 1. You knew it, didn't you? You heard it.
I was looking, I'm like, wait a minute, I ain't but two of them.
Revelation chapter 1, verse 13. You there?
Start verse 12, Zed, if you will.
Revelation chapter 1, verse 12. And I turned to see the voice that spake with me. And being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks.
Y'all still see the consistency in this, y'all? No matter what we read, go ahead. That's going to be in front of the throne because it represents the spirits. Go ahead, bro.
And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man.
One like unto who?
The Son of Man. Clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about with paps, with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Now let's get this understood. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. So this is describing the Messiah in his glory. Now once again, if we see men with red eyes, you're going to contribute it to one or two things. A wino, or a blood vessel that bust, or he's angry. And we got to be careful that we don't make him angry like we are and we see red. Right. No, this is a different red because it's comparing his eye. You're going to compare it to the color of wine. So there's a different understanding with red eyes. There's a total different understanding. He ain't blunted out. Right. He ain't this, because it tells you what makes his eyes red. And they're red with indignation. So he's fired up about something, y'all. That's what it's saying. Because once you say he got woolly hair, why don't we add the rest of what Christ looked like to us? Now, I mean, so everybody, should have red eyes. You should find a way to make your eyes red if your hair woolly too. You understand what I'm saying? How you just want the hair but you don't want the eyes? And you say you look like that. You have to have it all. Let's get some more. What does it say?
Verse 15.
Yeah.
And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
Y'all understand how he keep being surrounded by fire? And because you put brass in a furnace, it don't necessarily turn black. If it do turn black, we still out of the picture because we can't identify with black. Ain't nobody in this room this color. It's Africans close to this color, but they're not black. They're the darkest form of earth tone that's on this planet. But if you put black next to them, it'll be close. But it's not the color that's represented here. Burnished brass is not the color of black skin. What color is burnished brass? It says it look like polished gold. So it's a different brilliance. When you polish gold, if you ever seen somebody ain't polished their gold in their mouth, and then you see A.Z. Ben Yehuda smile, you know the difference in what I'm talking about. One are blind, you be like, hold on man, put that smile down. And the other one, like, you need some Colgate. Let's get some more. Go ahead.
And his voice as the sound of many waters. And he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword, and his countenance was as the sun shineth in his strength.
So that's what it says. His countenance was like the sun that shineth in his strength. The sun shined in his strength between 12 noon and 2 p.m. You cannot look at the sun with the naked eye without turning away. It says that's what it shines like. So what individual you seen that you draw that look like that? The sun shining in his strength. See, we're just chasing color. The only thing we look for is brass that's burned in the furnace, and that identifies us as being Israelites. Zeb, check that radiator thing too to see if that turned it up over there too. Is thermostat somewhere else? Yeah, it gotta be a thermostat. He said the thermostat in his room.
Right there by Esau. By Esau.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, where we at, y'all? Let's keep it going. Where we at, y'all? Let's get to this next one, y'all, real quick so we get caught up. We're going to Revelation 21 and 19. And y'all, we're talking about celestial. Y'all, we can hear y'all about that. We're talking about celestial. Now, y'all, remember, we're in the celestial body. 1 Corinthians 15. Bodies celestial. That's what we're reading. We're going to get to body terrestrial, and y'all going to understand the difference. But if we try to compare body terrestrial with body celestial, you're making a graven image even in your own mind, even telling anybody we look like God in this dying flesh. Yes, in the image of God. But we don't look like God in his brilliance because we dying like men. You can call yourself God, but Austin Lane gonna have you pump embalming fluid in you. Don't pump embalming fluid in supernatural. Go ahead, where we at?
And then you only look like the image of Elohim if you're in obedience.
And that's what we talk about, live. It's the only way you can look like that. And we're going to get to the scripts, and we're going to see the end of the matter, that's the only way you're going to be the kingdom, to be brilliant like that. Y'all see, what makes us shine is material. I got on Gucci. I got on Stacy. I got on Gators. You understand what I'm saying? You putting on something that makes you look like that. But it's corruptible. You can't wear Stacy's in snow or flood waters.
Oh no.
You can, but it'll be a problem when you take your feet out of them. Go ahead.
It's gonna be a problem as soon as you step in that pillow.
Yeah.
Where you going to?
We're going to Revelation 21:19. And y'all, we're just still in celestial, y'all. We're trying to break this apart, and then we finna get into man, what's gonna seal the deal. While we on good time, yes sir.
Revelation chapter 21, verse, we'll start at 18.
You start 18, bro, yes sir. Start at no, go 15. 15.
Sorry.
14, 15.
Yeah. Don't start at 15, right?
15.
Yeah.
Okay. And he that talked with me had a golden reed to measure the city, and the gates thereof, and the wall thereof. And the city lies 4 square, and the length is as large as the breadth. And he measured the city with the reed, 12,000 furlongs. The length and the breadth and the height of it are equal. And he measured the wall thereof, 144 cubits, according to the measure of a man, that is, of an angel. And the building of the wall of it was of jasper.
Of what?
Jasper. And the city was pure gold, like unto clear glass.
So it's telling you this gold was pure. All the gold we get, no matter where we get it from, Jared's, the pawn shop, or wherever you get it from, it has to have additives to make it hard so that you can have a ring. So that's why it's always a certain amount of carats.
Right.
But pure gold, you can wrinkle it up like aluminum foil.
That's right.
You can fashion it like aluminum foil. That's pure gold. And why do we call it clear? But you can't still, if you held it up, you still couldn't see through it. But what you're talking about, the brilliance of what initially comes out before man gets his hands on it. It's brilliance. You understand? It's like when we look at a newborn baby, why do we say their eyes are so clear when they're either brown with the white behind it? Why do you call that clear? You know why? Because you say it's free of stain.
Yes.
I don't see a taste of cataract. I don't see this in it. It don't look like it got a sty in it.
It's in innocence.
And the eyes are so clear and pure, but you can't see through their brain, can you?
No.
You're just talking about the brilliance of it.
Because the
Of a
eyes
newborn.
their eyes are so clear, almost have a blue tint.
Boy, look here. Because it's without sin.
Yeah.
Yes, it's still shaping in iniquity, but it's the closest thing as we can get to what the kingdom is like right now. Is for a child and innocent that has not tasted breaking a commandment.
Right.
Such is the kingdom.
Right.
So when you look at a baby, you look in the baby's eyes, and then you look in the mirror and look at your eyes, you
Your eyes
know
ain't that
the
clear.
difference. Yes, sir.
Your eyes ain't that clear at all.
They yellow and brown.
But if you make it to the kingdom, they
Yeah.
will be.
They'll be crystal clear.
They'll be
like that.
crystal clear.
They'll be baby eyes.
Won't be nothing ugly.
Yeah. What else you got there, Elijah?
Verse 19.
Yeah.
And the foundations of the wall of the city were garnished with all manner of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third a chalcedony, the fourth an emerald, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth sardius, the seventh chrysolite, the eighth beryl, the ninth a topaz, the 10th chrysoprase, the 11th a jacinth, the 12th an amethyst.
So everybody needs to go back in your own time and look up each one of them. You have to before you can move to the next verse because you're trying to visualize the kingdom. If you don't, you're going to see the kingdom of the Rakadushis. You're going to see the kingdom down there in Dimona. If you don't look at it from this perspective, or any of those Jews on any one of those kingdoms. Is those Jews on the Rakadushi gate? Or is that just a gate you can get from Home Depot and they put some green tarps on it to keep you from looking in? Them gates ain't. What are the gates down there in Dimona that was a training center for Israeli soldiers, which are formerly projects? What emeralds, gold, and carbuncle did you see on Bentley Carter's? Hulan Mitchell down there in Florida when he rehabbed them projects. Did he have them stones on the front?
No, sir.
And yet we want that kingdom. We want that kingdom that's defiled and go in there and what he was doing to each other. Let's get some more.
Verse 21.
Yeah.
And the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Every several gate was of one pearl. And the street of the city was pure gold, as it were transparent glass.
So now we see what surrounds the Most High, but now we're going to see, because the Most High created those brilliant, you're going to see what's greater than what he's saying. The temple is made. It's something greater than what you're seeing. Yeah, this is brilliant. But we're finna show you brilliance right now. What the next verse say, Elisha?
And I saw no temple therein. For the Most High Elohim Almighty and the Lamb were the temple of it. And the city had no need of the sun, neither of the moon.
So we just read he's like the sun in his strength, but it says it don't even need the sun anymore. What created the sun is running this show.
That's right.
We have to look at it greater than we look at the sun, or we're going to fall into Egyptology worship, sun worship. That's what they worship, the sun or moon worship. They worship the moon god. So we don't want to fall into those traps and think that this is what it's saying, and we worship his creation versus the creator. We fall violation to Deuteronomy 4:19. Let's get some more.
Verse 23. And the city had no need of the sun, neither of the moon to shine in it. For the glory of Elohim did lighten it.
What lighten it?
The glory of Elohim did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. And the nations of them which are saved,
Which are what?
Saved, shall walk in the light of it.
They're not walking in the sunlight. They're not walking in moonlight. Whose light they walking in? The Messiah. Let's get some more.
And the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it. And the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day. For there shall be no night there.
What shall there be not there?
No night.
So y'all understand the brilliance of this kingdom. It can't be compared to an earthly kingdom. And somebody said, y'all come to our holy temple. You got carbuncles and diamonds on there? And this temple on Coke Ridge?
Well, no, with the spirit in there.
Yeah. Yeah. You know you can't have them stones on
Don't
no
dwell in the
temple.
temple made.
On Goodfellow and Natural Bridge, you got a temple with them type of stones on it. Come on, God is up in there?
No, them some different spirits.
No, them some different stones.
I was just about to say
Yeah. No, that'll be laid off in those cubic zirconiums. And there's mood rings you can get out of a Cheerio box. That's what that'll be.
Counterfeit.
Mood rings. Let's get this next one, y'all. So now we're supernatural. Let's move to Exodus 3. And y'all, we're running good time. We're going to have enough time to get through the man who wants to look like God, but reduce God to look like him. And y'all, we're not talking about description and color. We're talking about majesty. Most High would never shine bright like that, looking like us.
Right.
We're trying to look like him in his image.
Yes, sir.
Where you going now?
We're going to Exodus chapter 3. Yes, sir. And y'all, what we're doing is just going over where flesh celestial comes into play and what surrounds flesh celestial. We can't mix the two. And when flesh celestial comes down and dwells with flesh terrestrial, that's where Hebrews tells us, don't be, always be aware to entertain strangers because it could be a what? Unaware.
Right.
So what happens is, but the only thing will make you understand or be aware is they're going to bring the word righteously. That's going to let you know this got to be an angel from God. But remember, Satan masquerades as an angel of what? So you have to be extra careful, y'all, because Satan looked just like everybody else in the heavens. I don't know where we're getting from Satan turned white. Just trying to figure it out. If you say Michael and Gabriel and all of the angels were black, if you're saying black, I'm just using the color black, then what happened to Lucifer? Did he go through whitewashing? See, we talk about the heathen whitewash the picture of the Messiah, or we whitewashing Lucifer's image.
That's what it is. Oh, white devil.
Let's get it, y'all. Okay, y'all, so we're going to Exodus chapter 3.
You do one or two. You do one or two. You down there?
And we're just going to read 1 through 6.
Okay.
Exodus 1
Exodus
through 16 on the paper.
Yeah, I had it. We ain't going to go all the way down.
Okay.
Y'all read that in your own time. Yeah, that's just getting into a whole lot of supernatural, you know, and notice y'all when Pharaoh's magicians and wizards tried to do supernatural, they called frogs, but where did the frogs go? They didn't go to Goshen. No. So when Moses called for frogs, they hit Egypt. They gonna call for frogs. They think, well, I'll just do the miracle, but you helping destroy your own kingdom because the frogs ain't going to Goshen.
Right.
You did flies. They didn't go to Goshen.
That's Satan against his own kingdom.
Against his own kingdom. He doubling it up and he destroying his own self. Let's get some more.
Exodus chapter 3, verse 1.
Yeah.
Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert, and came to the mountain of Elohim, even to Hoary. And the angel of the Most High,
and who?
Angel of the Most High, appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed.
And who was in the middle of that bush consumed with fire?
Angel of the Most High.
See, so this is what we talk about once again, that brilliance from celestial. And he could see him within that fire clearly, as clear as Nebuchadnezzar. So we threw 3 men in the fire, but we see a 4th one looking like the Son of God. We know we threw 3 in there. Who was this 4th? And the smell of smoke was not even on there. Y'all, we can't barbecue 1 chicken leg and smoke don't be on it. You hug somebody, give them a pound, they be like, boy, you been barbecuing?
Yeah.
Let's get some more.
Let me get some.
Yeah, that show gonna be. Go ahead. They start looking for, you know, the other fixing, potato salad and. Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 3.
Yeah.
And Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight.
What kind of sight?
Great sight. While the bush is not burnt. And when the Most High saw that he turned aside to see, Elohim called unto him out of the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, here am I. And he said, draw not nigh hither. Put off thy shoes from off thy feet. For the place whereon thy standing is holy ground.
So wherever supernatural celestial show up, especially if it's the Messiah speaking to you, it's holy ground. It's going to always be holy ground. You're going to have to understand that a portal has been opened and celestial has came down into the terrestrial realm. And they're ready to communicate with you. But so you don't be confused, they do a celestial event right before your face. Not for you to try it, because I don't care, you can just burn the tip of your finger. You know, sometimes you be doing things that'll burn these 2 fingers. Yeah. And why do you immediately think of the lake of fire? You understand what I'm saying, Elisha? Oh, what y'all talking about? I'm talking about touching the hot skillet.
Yeah, I ain't never touched a hot skillet.
Let's get some more, man. Go ahead.
That's where we different, brother.
You go down to verse 6, Elisha.
All right. Verse 6. Moreover, he said, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon Elohim.
See, so how do we continue to make pictures and say what God looked like whenever celestial came to terrestrial, they did like this. I don't want to see it.
Right.
I don't want to see it. I'll look at the feet up to here, but I'm not going to make my eyes go up here. I can't see that.
Right.
I don't want, because you can't see brilliance in this. You have to be changed to see that brilliance. Ezekiel was changed. Enoch was changed. It was called translated, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You have to switch. You'll look just like you do, but this will go from corruption to incorruption. That baby we talked about, these eyes will turn into them baby's eyes right there before your face. Before everybody's face. He got the baby eyes.
Changed in the twinkling of an eye.
Let's get some more. You finished that? You got verse 6? Okay. Let's get this Joshua 5, 13 through 15. So we saw Moses deal with celestial, and he bowed to it and got on his knees, and they never made an image of celestial. So we're going right to Joshua chapter 5, verse 13 through 15. And y'all, what we're talking about is consistency with the Bible. It don't change between Genesis and Revelation. You get somebody coming with new doctrine, talking about you can judge God. Nah, come on, Lord, now you didn't, how you gonna do me like that? And little Bobo and them got away with it. No, come on, God, miss me with that. See, this is how these Negroes then reduce glory and celestial majesty down to, I can confront him, my maker.
He gonna miss you.
All of these individuals, usually, you're gonna find they talk back to their parents.
Yeah.
Miss me with that, mama. I clean up my room when I feel like it.
See if she miss you with that broom.
Come on, mama, you've been telling me to clean my room I'm 46 years old, and you keep on talking about cleaning your room.
There goes the problem right
I'm a
there.
grown man.
That's the problem right there.
No, you in the wrong image.
Come on.
Go ahead, bro.
All right, family, we're going to be reading in the book of Joshua, chapter 5,
Yeah.
and start the reading in verse 13.
Yes, sir.
Everybody there? It reads, "And it came to pass, when Joshua was by Jericho, that he lifted up his eyes and looked, and beheld, there stood a man over against him with his sword drawn in his hand.
So we see the image looks like a man.
Right.
Go ahead.
And Joshua went unto him, and said unto him, Art thou for us, or for our adversary?
Right, because he's saying it's war. I'm a warrior. Go ahead.
And he said, Nay, but as captain of the host of the Lord am I now come. And Joshua fell on his face to the earth, and did worship.
And did what?
And did worship. And said unto him, What saith my Lord unto his servant? And the captain of the Lord's host said unto Joshua, Loose thy shoe from off thy foot, for the place whereon thou standest is holy. And Joshua did so.
See, that's the respect, because you don't want to bring dirty shoes into the house.
Right.
But when you chase bad doctrine and when you chase color religion, you got dirt in your house. When you do that, you technically have to wipe your feet off so you don't get the city dirty. That's how dirty your house will be. You won't see this brilliance, because it's a house of a den of iniquity. When you try to compare that kingdom to what's down here on earth, he said, I don't dwell in temples made with man's hands.
That's right.
He gave Solomon design for that temple, and guess what? Solomon said, I know this house can't hold you. You don't dwell here. This your footstool.
Right.
But this is so close to what's up there. But we're still terrestrial down here. So it'll have that glory, but it won't be that same glory up there. It's the best we can fashion down there to give us hope for the one that'll never, corruption will never fall. Right. Solomon kingdom failed. Let's get some more.
That's it on that.
Well, that's it on that. We're going right to Judges 13.
Yes, sir.
Judges 13, yes, sir. Can y'all hear me back there? That speaker good? Okay. Judges 13 chapter, y'all. Y'all, we run on good time. Got about a good 40 minutes.
Judges 13.
Yes.
What's yours?
What's start about verse 17 through 23, just a few.
The book of Judges, chapter 13 and verse 17. And Manoah said unto the angel of the Lord.
So right here, y'all read 1 through 17, but the angel first came to his mother, told him what she couldn't eat because Samson was going to be born with the Holy Spirit. And then now her husband, because she told him a man came to me, and now Manoah had that same experience, and this is where it's picking up for both of them. Go ahead.
And Manoah said unto the angel of the Lord, what is thy name, that when thy sayings come to pass, we may do thee honor? And the angel of the Most High said unto him, why askest thou thus after my name, seeing it is secret? So Manoah took a kid with a meat offering, and offered it upon a rock unto the Most High. And the angel did wondrously.
What did the angel do?
Wondrously. And Manoah and his wife looked on. For it came to pass, when the flame went up toward heaven from off the altar, that the angel of the Most High ascended in the flame of the altar.
So you see another celestial coming down to terrestrial, but doing a celestial act. He jumped in the fire of that sacrifice to ensure that it reached the throne of the Most High, so to speak. Go ahead.
And Manoah and his wife looked on it and fell on their faces.
What they do?
They fell on their faces to the ground. But the angel of the Most High did no more appear to Manoah and to his wife. Then Manoah knew that he was an angel of the Most High. And Manoah said unto his wife, we shall surely die, because we have seen Yah. But his wife said unto him, if the Most High were pleased to kill us, he would have received a burnt offering and a meat offering at our hands.
Now say he would. Now that read
that. Had to flip that page.
Yes, sir.
Verse 23. But his wife said unto him, if the Most High were pleased to kill us, he would not have received a burnt offering and a meat offering at our hands. Neither would he have showed us all these things, nor would as at this time have told us such things as these.
So we're talking, he's saying celestial. He never would have told us celestial. He never would have accepted a sacrifice that's going to celestial if we had done something wrong. But they had respect and honor. What else they do?
Verse 24.
Yeah.
And the woman bare a son, and called his name Samson. And the child grew, and the Most High blessed him. And the Spirit of the Lord began to move him at times in the camp of Dan, between Zorah and Eshtaol.
So what happened was Samson was born with the Spirit on him. He was conceived that way, so to speak. He was told, do not eat this, do not eat that. He's going to be a Nazarite in the womb. We're going to perform, or say the Most High is going to perform Numbers 6 chapter on him while he's being formed into an individual in your womb. That celestial came down and said, we're going to put the Spirit on this terrestrial individual in the womb. Which y'all is still free will, because Samson went off. And he had to get back to what he was at the end of his life. And he became a god again because he pushed down a whole stadium. And killed more than he was. It did. But look, he was a god then, but how did he die?
As a man.
Because the bricks fell on him too. But he said, because I messed up the first time y'all came to me, let me go out like I'm supposed to go out. I know I ain't going to be able to do like this. And they're going to say Samson has took the Philistine. But they'll say it, but I won't get to do this because I tricked like Moses did. Y'all understand? Moses hit that rock like he was in celestial. Because the Most High said, I'm going to make you a god to Pharaoh. He said, I didn't say I was going to make you a god to Israel. I'm their God. How dare you hit that rock like that? You going to go celestial on my terrestrial? You going to do that, Moses? You understand what I'm saying? You got to get out of here. Yes, sir. Who is that for? Yeah.
For who?
That's some good sniffing. Go ahead. Go ahead. Where we at?
I'm not congested.
You not? Let's get it, y'all. Where we at? Well, give me one of them. Yeah.
You sick, man. Here. Take it, but I'm congested.
Yes, sir. We're going to Daniel chapter
10.
No, I tell you what. Let's go to
Numbers.
is that next on the list? No, we got Daniel. But I had two Daniel. Let me get Daniel 7 and 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to come back. I tell you what. No, we're gonna leave it in the order it's in. I'm gonna come back there. Give me Daniel 10 and 6, and then Numbers 11 and 7. No, because it's something I want to set up that wool on that.
So you're going Daniel 10?
Yes, sir. 10 and 6, or you can back it up if you need to, like. And y'all, this is, me and Tuba was kind of chopping this up too.
Yeah.
But one time we always thought this was an angel. Slow me now. You know, but how it's describing it once again, Daniel seeing the Messiah and celestial. Let's get it. Who got it?
Daniel chapter 10, verse 6.
Yes, sir.
His body also like the bird.
Start at 5.
Yes, start at 5. Yes, sir.
Daniel chapter 10, verse 5. Then I lift up mine eyes, and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz.
Now look, see how consistently every time we see celestial, what's the clothing type? Linen and white. It's a consistent clothing. Pure linen. Make you sweat free. Pure linen and white because it represents righteousness.
Yes, sir.
That's why you can't say white people in a sense, because if you compare it to anything, it'll be considered to brilliance.
And then you first have to understand that the whole white-black concept, social construct and concept came about the 17th, 18th century.
Yes, sir.
That was a new construct to just keep division
Yes, sir.
amongst the nations.
Yes, sir.
But it wasn't even used. White people didn't even call themselves white people before the 16th, 17th century.
Right.
They ain't white.
And not only that, but they only do, like y'all, it's the 12 tribes, and then it's the nations of the world.
Yes, sir.
Now, when we smash both of them, you say Jew because Judah is the head tribe of the other 11. So when you say Jew, you technically mean Judah, or we're saying who the Messiah descended from, Judah. So they have the scepter. So we can push all the other 11 tribes under Judah. And when you say Gentile, that's all the nations combined. Don't matter. It's from Ham, Shem, all the other nations, not Ham, Ham, Japheth, all of them are considered Gentiles.
Right.
We have to understand that. And some, what we call Hebrews, like Ishmael, he's still a Gentile.
Right.
Still is.
The sons of Keturah, Abraham's children after Sarah died, are Gentiles. They're Hebrews, but they're not Hebrew Israelites.
Right.
It makes a difference for the blood covenant, all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let's get some more.
Verse 6.
Yeah.
His body also was like the burl.
What was his body like?
Like the burl.
What color is burl we just read? Green, wasn't it? See, that's why you can't let nobody verse teach you color things and they just point out one. If you did this to him like this, it's saying, well, right here it says body is burl. Mm-hmm. This sounds like a bad case, like his liver ain't functioning. And don't a bad liver turn you green? Gangrene? Let's get some more. What else to say?
And his face has the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude.
So once again, we see God's face looking like fire, that we may look at a campfire, and you looking at it and you saying, I'm looking into God's face. but you know you can't get close yet.
Right.
Even on our level,
Right.
you better not put your face close to it.
Right.
I'm gonna get face to face with God.
Okay.
Eyelashes.
There won't be no eyelashes with the lights.
No eyebrows, eyelashes.
Half the mustache gone. Go ahead.
Verse 7.
Yeah.
And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision. For the men that were with me saw not the vision, but a great quaking fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves.
So we can hold up once again. You see this individual right here described the same exact way. Face like fire and lightning. Look, we only get a quick glimpse of lightning before we take off running, don't we? Who got a quick glimpse of lightning and just stood there and say, let me watch another? Especially when it strike a tree or a bush and burn it right up. Or you see it like it hit that soccer field and everybody fell off like bowling pins.
Right.
It hit down at one goal and everybody down at the other goal was just falling over. That power was traveling through the ground. Let's get another one, y'all. We're running good time. We got a good half hour, so okay. Let's deal with supernatural food and see if it's compared to something. Let's get it.
You going to Numbers?
Numbers 11 chapter. And then we're going to get into the different hair textures types, because that's what we use to prove that God looked just like us. When you say his hair was like wool. Now, some Hebrews got woolly hair, but you may have to add the word steel in front of it.
I knew they did that.
Because I'm talking about it's some cuckabuds, boy, that couldn't take a pick comb or nothing, boy. It's rough. I mean, it's rough on them when you try. You can back in the day blow it out with a flat iron.
It'll be right back tomorrow.
Boy,
This say spring back.
spring back.
6 weeks blowout last 6 hours.
Boy,
6 minutes.
let's get it, y'all.
Keep that hot pick.
Yeah, keep that hot pick ready. Numbers chapter 11, verse 7, if y'all need to back it up. Let's get it.
Numbers chapter 11, verse 7. And the manna was as coriander
Just back
seed.
it up. Let's see how the people are crying. Just back it up to verse 4.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah.
Numbers chapter 11, verse 4.
Yeah.
And the mixed multitude was among them. That was among them fell and lusted. And the children of Israel also wept again, and said, who shall give us flesh to eat? We remember the fish, which we did eat in Egypt freely, the cucumbers, and the melons, and the leeks, and the onions, and the garlic. But now our soul is dried away. There is nothing at all beside this manna before our eyes.
Now I want y'all to understand what they're saying here. Celestial food, we want that terrestrial bread in Egypt. We want to go back there where technically we can get a hold of these things and eat there and we'll be full. The only problem is you got to always have good soil. You got to always have a market open to get it to you. And you know what else you need? Money. But let's read when we get on down what this bread came down and what it was compared to. And it's a word in there, we're going to have to look that word up too. Go ahead.
And the manna was as coriander seed, and the color thereof as the color of bdellium.
So if we real quick just look at the color of bdellium. It said the manna was of coriander seed. They didn't want that. And the color thereof was the color of bdellium. So we don't have to wonder if it looked like Lee's biscuits.
No.
Or Longhorn biscuits with them cheese on. We finna get what they look like. It look like bdellium.
Wafers.
So when we get the color, what is it? Bdellium?
Bdellium.
Bdellium.
No buzz.
No buzz? Okay. Yes, sir. So we gonna see what this look like, y'all, so we understand through color what it's compared to. See how this manner was compared to a color.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get some more. Yes, ma'am.
You know that coriander is the same as parsley. Cilantro.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay.
It's, when you get coriander, you get parsley.
What you got over there, sis?
On the bdellium,
Yeah.
I'm looking in the strong, and when I read down here, it says a fragrant, perhaps amber.
Perhaps what color?
Amber.
Y'all see how we back to what's that color again?
Amber.
Amber is the color of fire,
Yeah.
or the color of burnished brass within fire. So you want to be with this doctrine, you want to prove something, you got to go through the fire.
Right.
Black ain't gonna make you go through the fire.
Black gonna make you stay away from the fire.
Yeah. Let's go ahead. Who got this? That numbers? Did we finish that?
Before we go. We on 8.
We just need that. Okay. You on 8? Okay.
Yeah. And the people went about and gathered it, and ground it to mills, or beat it in a mortar, and baked it in the pans, and made cakes of it. And the taste of it was as the taste of fresh oil. And when the dew fell upon the camp in the night, the manna fell upon it.
So he gave it to us at night. So we didn't even have to work. When we woke up, we had spiritual biscuits waiting on us. But we don't want that.
No.
We want to go back to where we think we can get some leeks and onions with some government food stamps.
Some Lee's chicken.
Some Lee's chicken. That's what we want.
Right.
Back in Egypt. And notice, it said the mixed multitude with them, that was with them, so it was a few of them Egyptians.
Yeah.
Man, I thought y'all was really on to something y'all got came and got y'all. Y'all ain't got no leeks and onions out there?
Right.
Y'all ain't got nothing
Like
like
they
that.
used to taste good back in there. And instead of them telling them, we're not going back there again. That's why we're here. Because that's gone away.
Yes, sir.
Let's get this next one, y'all. We on track, y'all, to finish up good. So, y'all, now what we're gonna get into, does our hair look like wool? And what does spiritual wool mean? You know, is we're looking at God and just say his head look like Grady's? Yes, in a sense, but what does that truly mean? Because Grady could have just not combed his hair and it's looking like that. Let's get it. Daniel 7 and 9. And we're going to run these 3. We're going to see how it describes supernatural woolly hair. Y'all, we don't know what's in our hair. It could be lice. Some leftover S-curl.
You better know.
Look, and some people getting, you know, if your hair fall out, ain't no telling what you got all up in there trying to get some hair to grow back again.
I think that was a shot.
No, I'm just go ahead. Well, it worked for Richard. Go ahead.
Shots fired, man.
Right. Yeah, right. So, you know, we don't want to belittle that hair to wool because you know what? Like I say, we'll point to somebody and we always point to them is always that side. They say our hair like wool. You say, what about Ned the wino's hair? Would it look like that if he wasn't sleeping behind that liquor store? If he picked all that blanket lint out, what would it look like? Let's get some more. Daniel 7 and we got it.
Daniel chapter 7, verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit.
Who said?
Ancient of Days, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels are as burning fire.
So it said pure wool. So we have to understand the difference in pure Wool. And every time we read hair like wool, it's always going to be on celestial. You will never read hair like wool on the sons of man. I don't care what the prophet name. It won't say Ezekiel, who had hair like lamb's wool. It will never say that. Wool is only for the celestial. And what it is, it breaks it down to wool signifies absolute purity, majesty, justice. All of the words that we will use to describe the Most High. Brilliance. That's what this type of wool is explaining from this perspective. It's not so you look at this brilliance because it's on the throne and you point to Ned the wino. Yeah. It's a different type of wool. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's a different understanding. And when we read about Christ having the same wool, notice where he gonna be at. Ain't nobody on this earth or nobody in these scriptures from Genesis to Revelation of terrestrial flesh says they have wool. Wool represents righteousness. Pure, unfeigned. If you understand why George Washington, in the Capitol, at the top of the Capitol, there's a picture of the planet Earth. Him and his founding fathers have on wigs. Yeah, it looked like they got on women's stockings and wigs. But with him, with that wig on, that wool wig, and he's next to planet Earth up there, and he's called the father of what?
The nation. Of
this nation. Not only that, but he said, I'm going to be the champion of the world. I'm going to be like God. See, I have this wool on. This signifies me different than Woodrow behind the alley. This is power. This is majesty. This is the father of this nation.
That's a wig.
And if you notice, the members of the parliament in Europe are British. They wear them because it represents the law and
like
power.
The thrones around the kingdom. Those wigs. If we just, it looks like a woman wig, but if we don't understand why they're the only ones that have them on, you won't understand that they're mimicking celestial power and pureness from wool. Now, how wool affects us as terrestrial, if we own sheep, if we shear our sheep, wool is big paper. Wool sustains you in clothing, warmth. Wool is at the top of the chain for us being terrestrial. But that wool we get off a sheep, if we put it on our head like that, and you still go to the strip club with that wool sitting on your head.
You don't get stripped.
Yeah, you're gonna be stripped. Yeah.
They're gonna take you out in the back.
Absolutely, y'all. So when you look up, and I want y'all to do this, look up spiritual wool, and y'all get a perfect understanding of what I'm speaking of. So did we finish that, or we had a little bit more on that dash? We good to 7 to 9? Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So let's now, Revelation back, we did Revelation 1:13, but I just want to get right back to the point to where it says wool. And we're going to see what position that he's in. See, we see the Father, the Almighty, and he's on the throne. So they're looking celestial. And when we see the Messiah, he's going to be looking celestial. But this is what we do. We take this bad flesh and we point to that celestial and say, he looks like us. Yeah, that's why y'all mad. That's why everybody's saying the Messiah look black. That's exactly what the Antichrist wants you to do, chase color. So when you see a black man sitting up there on the throne as the Antichrist, or you going to question it. Or you going to question, is it celestial? Or is it terrestrial? What you gonna do? All you gonna care about is a dark-skinned man. Once again, what color was the angel Lucifer? Because his image didn't change.
They said when he reveals his true image to the world, they're gonna say, this him?
This him?
I thought he was a white man.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna be saying.
Right.
I sure thought that.
It's Urkel.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Just read Revelation 1 right to the part where it gets to the wool. Revelation 1:13. I just want right where we get to the wool. And then Matthew 5:36. And then we're going to get on the man side. Well, we got this good half hour, y'all. We're going to finish this off. And we're gonna see that that wool that represents the Godhead or Elohim, the color of Yah, that's when we will put that color on.
Who got it? I'll do it. Revelation chapter 1, verse 13.
Yes, sir.
And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about with paps, with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So this one said his head and his hair. How do you get 2 parts to that? Is that 2 parts, or is that still 1 part, but explaining it in 2 parts? His head and his hair were white like wool. So it's a white head
Yeah, that's what I'm tripping
with
on.
white woolly hair. It's just y'all to get the juices from.
Right.
But it's still letting you know it's in Christ. And all of it's like pure wool. All of it is brilliance and splendor. That's why I said his head and his hair. Notice what we do, we only say the hair part.
Right.
Why don't we say the head part? Because it's white. If you don't understand pureness in the throne, you won't understand.
And that's the crown of his head.
Yes, sir. Matthew 5:36, y'all, and then we're going to get into these people. We're going to close on out. They mostly 1 line or 2 lines. But it's the ones that we always go through to prove that the Israelites was black.
Well, you've been at Lamentations 4.
Oh, we got that on the list, but we got to go there. Because that's going to tell us when we were in celestial mode, how we failed to terrestrial. It's going to describe the difference in brilliance. And when you're in a fallen state and you tell somebody, we look just like God, you know, they say, you a liar. Y'all used to look like God. Who got it? Matthew 5:36.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 36. Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white or black.
See, notice what it said. You can't swear by your head. You can't put that on. I'm so brilliant that if I say this, it's going to change some things. You can't make one's hair white or black without some Grecian formula in this terrestrial. Boy, you got some. Y'all know them dyes?
Yeah.
That's the only way to make one's hair white or black. We can't do it. We can't change it. But notice, the Messiah never said you can't change nobody's head from a hustle and flow to pure wool. Did he say that? He labeled it where it's terrestrial. And terrestrial men don't deal with wool as the Bible is speaking of wool. When I look up what is spiritual wool significance, y'all gonna understand what I'm saying. But until you do this, we're gonna be trying to compare supernatural to us. Where we at?
Verse 37.
Yeah.
But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay.
See, and you can't put nothing on your head talking about trust me. Trust me like I'm God. And we're gonna die like what? No, you can't do it, y'all. You can't put woolly head on a sinner. Notice everybody we keep talking about with woolly hair had no sin. Now, when we get into these men, you're going to see hoary head and gray head. Then, when we get to the end of this, you're going to see what elevates us to wear the wool on our head. Free of blanket lint. Free of behind the liquor store alleys, glass, broken glass, and pieces of asphalt. No, that's not our wool. Where we at? Ezekiel 16. And this is the reason we got to quit chasing color. Because if we don't, then yes, the Jews will be a black man. If you call them black, the dark nation. Ezekiel 16. I just want you to read 1 and 2, then we're going to skip down to 16.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 1.
Yes, sir.
Again, the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, Son of man, cause Jerusalem to know her abomination.
What we gonna cause her to know?
Her abomination. And say, Thus saith the Most High Yah unto Jerusalem, Thy birth and thy nativity is of the land of Canaan.
Who is Canaan? Son of who?
Ham.
Yes, sir. Keep going.
Thy father was an Amorite, and thy mother was an Hittite.
Now, right here, the Israelites are Africans.
Right.
Dark skin. If you don't understand the difference between land prophecy and people prophecy, it's saying where you were, your beginning started out, that land was controlled by Canaan. When he got off the ark, Jerusalem is still called the land of Canaan until Zechariah 14 is completed. Then it will be called the Lord our righteousness. But right now it's still called the land of Canaan because the last verse in Zechariah 14 says, and there'll be no more a Canaanite in the house of who? The Lord, because this won't be remembered from Ham's wicked son at all. This land will be pure righteousness. Now I'm going to jump down to where is verse 3 at? Verse 4, I'm sorry.
Verse 4.
Yeah.
And as for thy nativity, in the day thou was born, thy navel was not cut, neither was thou washed in water to supple thee. Thou was not salted at all.
So it's saying until David established the kingdom in Jerusalem, y'all, we were still in somebody else's land. Y'all understand what I'm saying? That's like we're in somebody else's building right now. But what does that have to do with us being the righteous people? We're in a foreigner's land, ain't we? Yes, sir. But they don't make us Americans because they let us know we ain't Americans. Not through color, because everybody, other nations that come here, they'll say, he's a Greek American. He's an Irish American. He's a Spanish American. He's a Chinese American. Where is the Negro American listed? You know what they have for you on that list? African American or black. You choose which color we put you under. And we're going to put you under a color called black. But the other nations say, any other nation other than black American, who are you? Are you Puerto Rican? Check that. Or you Irish? Check that. But what do they have for us to check on the box? And then they say, well, we know you don't want to reveal it sometimes, so just check. I don't want to say who I am.
Right.
But they know. They already know. Other. But still, you're not part of what they're saying, part of this society. You're other people. And we chasing color, black. We're not chasing prophecy and the blessings and the promise that Abraham got. Let's get some more. Where we at? Jump down to 10. No, tell you what, we start washing us up. Verse 8.
Verse 8.
Yes, sir.
8. Yeah.
Now we're going to see what he did and how he brought us to glory and to brilliance in another's land. In Hamite. Let's get some more.
We'll start at 7.
Yes, sir.
Man, I should just go on.
Go ahead, read it on down. Yes, sir.
We're on the book of Ezekiel, chapter 16, verse 5.
Yeah.
None I pitied thee, to do any of these unto thee, to have compassion upon thee, but thou wast cast out in the open field, to the loathing of thy person, in the day that thou wast born. And when I passed by thee, and saw thee polluted in thine own blood,
Yes, sir.
I said unto thee, when thou wast in thy blood, live. Yeah, I said unto thee, when thou wast in thy blood, live. I have caused thee to multiply as the bud of the field, and thou hast increased and waxen great.
And what have we waxen?
Have waxen great, and thou art come to excellent ornament.
What do we come to?
Excellent ornament.
Do y'all understand the excellent ornaments we read about earlier? That's what he said. When I took y'all, when I brought y'all into the land of Canaan, y'all was naked and bare.
Right.
Y'all didn't have no foothold.
None.
And I put this on you, and then I put this brilliance on y'all. Read some more.
Thy breasts are fashioned, and thine hair is grown, whereas thou was naked and bare. Now when I passed by thee, and looked upon thee, behold, thy time was the time of love. And I spread my skirt over thee.
Y'all see how I put that power of protection over us? I'm covering y'all as a husband. Go ahead.
And covered thy nakedness. Yeah, I swear unto thee, and entered into a covenant with thee.
Y'all see that again? Entered into a covenant with thee. Go ahead.
Saith the Most High Yah.
Yeah.
And thou becamest mine. Then washed I thee with water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thoroughly washed away thy blood from thee, and I anointed thee with oil. I clothed thee also with broidered work, and shod thee with badger skin.
The best sandals.
And I girded thee about with fine linen.
What kind of clothes?
With fine linen.
No, some lead mains.
Some fine linen.
Some platters, men fasts.
Some leading men linen.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And I covered thee with silk.
Yes, sir.
I decked thee also with ornaments, and I put bracelets upon thy hands, and a chain on thy neck. And I put a jewel on thy forehead, and earrings in thine ears, and a beautiful crown upon thine head. Thus was thou decked with gold and silver, and thy raiment was of fine linen, and silk, and broidered work. Thou didst eat fine flour, and honey, and oil, and thou was exceeding beautiful.
How beautiful was we?
Was exceeding beautiful.
What did that mean, like exceeding beautiful?
Beyond the natural, beyond just simple beauty.
Go ahead, read some more.
And thou didst prosper into a kingdom.
What we prosper into?
A kingdom. And thy renown went forth among the heathen for thy beauty, for it was perfect through my coming, which I had put upon thee, saith the Most High Yah.
Now, just read that verse 15 and see what happened, because Lucifer got us to think just like him. Come on, man, y'all as beautiful as I was. Lord set y'all up just like he set me up.
Right.
And then he lured us right into the very thing that got him through our head. Let's see what he lured all this brilliance into. Go ahead.
Verse 15.
Yeah.
But thou didst trust in thine own beauty.
Y'all see that? What did we trust in?
In thine own beauty.
Not the beauty that he gave us, celestial beauty,
Right.
but we won't. Give me some of that terrestrial beauty. Give us a king. Zeb, you know what they holler. Give us a king spirit. We had a celestial king.
Right.
Give us a terrestrial king. Go ahead, bro.
That tall fella.
Yeah, that tall fella. Yeah, go ahead.
And playest the harlot because of thy renown.
What did we play?
Play the harlot because of thy renown. And pourest out thy fornications on every one that passed by. His it was.
What was it?
It was his.
Okay. See, so now we're married, and you see we are married into a harlot doctrine. We have brought that into the marriage covenant, and you can't put a covering over that doctrine because it don't have a cover.
Right.
If it did, we're being the bride of our Father, and we go get another man. Now we're in polyandry. We got two husbands. And one of them don't care about you because he ain't put no covering over you.
Right.
And if you
Just like the devil, he don't put no covering over you. He put threats on you to get them coverings.
That's right.
You want these coverings, you need to do what's called the sacrifice of humiliation. Dress up like Little Richard with a Pee Wee Herman back.
What?
And we know you want the brilliance of Satan. It's always humiliation rituals, y'all. Humiliate yourself, and then I'll put you in my clothing. Let's get some more.
But what I just want to say real quick, Dan, if you notice in Genesis, when Adam and Eve transgressed, they made fig aprons of fig.
Yeah.
Most High came and put them in his cover.
Yes, he did.
He said, take off those clothes and wear the clothing I put on. So he put commandments, statutes, and judgments back on them.
Yes, sir.
They was putting on a whole different doctrine.
Yes, sir.
They covered themselves in the doctrine of Satan.
Aprons.
And Most High said, no, take that off. That ain't the covering you should have.
No.
You should have my covering.
How you gonna have on fallen priest garb? Notice Freemasons always wear aprons and cover themselves in that.
Yeah.
Down on the lower part. They don't have the aprons up here girding the loins of their mind, but down here. And everybody that joins, you get into a puffy part. Y'all have to understand, all these camps, their leaders are Freemasons too. Like we say 80% of Baptist preachers are Freemason, all you have to do is drive through the parking lot. 80% of these camps are Freemason, if they're a camp and they have a leader. They're former goat riders in the church. They just moved to Hebrew Christianity. They know who they are, but they still using goat riding techniques.
Yeah.
They put you under humiliation rituals. Everybody that they bring around, don't seek your righteousness. What they seek is a secret about you, a humiliation about you, to tell the world if you don't comply. Right. This scripture don't do that. It say love your brother as yourself. But them doctrines, through the debate, through letting them come in your house and live with you, and they see everything. When you go to work, they in that drawer, looking around.
I go to work, you going to work.
Is this a jockey strap or a phone in this bottom drawer? And then here's somebody coming.
Yeah, you definitely got to go.
Let's get some more. Go ahead.
We going to get back in Ezekiel?
No, we can hold that. Genesis 25 and 25, and that's the kicker. Okay. Y'all, in Leviticus 13, I'm just going to mention a few while we get to Genesis 25. Leprosy would turn black skin white, if you want to call it black. It turns any color skin. Some people try to use the leprosy of Naaman and say that's where white folks came from.
No.
Well, they say it's going to be on his generation. Ain't been no more heard from Naaman, the leper. He died out. So that died with him. No generations after that. So that killed that one version of white man on the scene. Because unless you make him Japhet, and you fix a case for him being Japhet, not because white people are in Japhet's land off the ark, Russia is in there. Russia moved into them land.
Yes.
Eskimos was in Alaska first, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Wasn't Aborigines in Australia? Mm-hmm. Wasn't Hawaiians in Hawaii? Mm-hmm. But who run those lands now?
Esau.
That's what we're talking about. Either he's a leprosy man or he's some descendant that snuck on the ark and Noah didn't know about it, neither did the Lord.
No, that's crazy talk.
Let's get it, y'all. We ain't got but a couple more, y'all. We're going to close out.
Genesis 25:25.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You wanna go to 23?
We go 23. Thank you.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 23. And the Most High said unto her.
Hold on, we got a few pages to look at.
You should hear them well.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 23.
Yeah.
And the Most High said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. See,
and we don't concentrate on there a whole nation of people. A whole nation. That means it's going to have governments. It's going to have everything you need as a nation. You're just two people in one womb. And see, that's why we got to be extra careful that don't nobody look at this and they're chasing that the devil has changed daddy. Because if you try to compare it to this and you say, see, this just like it was in the garden, well, that would be a problem. Because Isaac is their daddy. Unless you say while Isaac was asleep, this black angel called the devil who turned white jumped on our mother Rebecca and had her way while Isaac was getting blind. You understand? If you make it crazy, it don't get crazy. But if you read it for what it says two nations, or in your womb, two nations of people. They're going to be identified. This is going to be where the genealogy starts.
Right.
Let's get some more.
Verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau.
Now, can anybody Google red hairy garments? Because it wanted us to compare what his red was like. And I just want to add this tidbit. Ruddy and red are in the Bible. Most people will teach you it's the same thing. They say Adam was red, but that ain't what Book of Adam and Eve nor Jubilee say Adam was like. It never described. It say he was from dust. Now, you want to make it say Adam mean red. Adam don't mean nothing. That's, you're saying that. That ain't what Genesis say it means, what he was made from. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You can easily get caught up into that as well, but go ahead, Elisha. Who has that?
26. And after that came his brother, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob.
So what I want everybody to get that red, picture of red and hairy garment. I just want to see if the picture comes up. Just Google it. But go ahead.
And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare him. And the boys grew. And Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. And Jacob was a plain man, rather than tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison. But Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sighed pottage. And Esau came from the field and was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom.
So this is where red came from. No, is that garment? I need a garment.
I said garment.
Say garment.
That's what it
Make
was.
sure garment. Well, they put the skin. I guess that is his garment. You know,
red hair garment.
I guess that is his garment. But y'all see Esau.
It lets you know, Google know who they ain't talking about.
Absolutely. So that's who they brought up. Red and hairy. Now, what that means is y'all ain't never saying, yeah, that's red and hairy. Like this is what it would look like on his body. So what we're talking about, y'all, is it never described his color. It describes his color compared to something, red and hairy, because it's just saying he's going to be born with no pigmentation. So the red will be the blood that comes up. When they get mad, what color it turns?
Red.
When they drunk, what color they nose turn?
Red.
When their ears cold?
Red.
When they fired up, what color their ears?
Red.
See, that's what we're talking about. That's how you would identify this nation. And guess what? Ezekiel 36 says this nation of Esau has 12 tribes. 13 at the most when you read Ezekiel 13. So all of those tribes of Esau, those tribes went out into the world and they conquered lands, those 13 tribes. They are all the same people, the Romans, the Scythians, the Russians, the Ukrainians. They just 13 brothers just fighting against each other right now. They're still the same family because if they get in trouble, will they come together against the rest of the world? Mm-hmm. Didn't we war Judah and Israel?
Yeah.
Ain't that how the kingdom was split?
Yes, sir.
So y'all, when y'all understand people move into lands, that don't make them the originators. That just making them who's ever in this land when this prophecy come to pass. That's Magog. It don't mean that that's going back to the ark. It's the prophecy, just why we read that Ezekiel 16:1, so you understand. That was Hamite land that we got our first kingdom in. And then to do all you got to accept that we Hamites. One of the two, like right. If you don't know land prophecy versus people prophecy. Let's speed this up so we get on that.
Genesis 27 tell you Esau's prophecy of how he was going to conquer the whole world.
Yeah.
That was his blessing, his earthly blessing, as opposed to the spiritual blessing that Jacob received.
Yes, sir. Where we at?
Are we still in this?
No, we can finish that. I just wanted to show color once again of a man was compared to something red and hairy. Now look, red and hairy existed before Esau. Ooh, that's a rough one. Red and hairy. Yeah, boy, that look like he got on a bare skin. I know it. Look like he got on a bare skin rug.
But if you look up Apostle Rothschild, it means red.
Red shield.
Red shield.
So does it mean more of power than him, particularly his skin or his color? So y'all, if y'all understand what I'm saying. But let's just move on to the next one, y'all, because we got just a couple more we're going to close on out. 1 Samuel 16:12. Now that tidbit I said, everywhere you see red in the Bible, it's going to be attached to Esau. Everywhere you see ruddy in the Bible, it's only going to be attached to an Israelite. David and Solomon are called ruddy. Esau and his descendants are called red. Ruddy is red with pigment. That's ruddy. It gives it a mahogany look.
Yeah.
Red is what it is. It's the actual color of blood coming up in the flesh. That's how you know how angry they are at you.
Even in painting, in portrait painting, we used to always talk, you know, when you paint a portrait, there's 3 steps. It's dark, light, middle, and lights.
Yeah.
But in painting white folk, you always use red where the blood is most present. Like in the nose, you don't do that in painting black portraits.
No.
People of color. When you painting people of Esau's nation, then you always use red in the places where the blood is most concentrated, like in the cheekbones,
yes,
nose,
yeah,
you know, where it kind of congulates or whatever.
Yes, sir.
Whatever.
Concentrates in that area.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but you never
blushy
use
cheeks. They say blush.
Right. You never use a different color or hue.
Yeah.
In portraying white folk in painting. So it's even true in painting.
Yes, sir.
Ruddy, having a healthy reddish color.
Having a what?
Healthy reddish color.
See, a healthy reddish color is ruddy because we have the health medicine within us. Y'all understand what I'm saying? We got it in us if we just acknowledge it. But it ain't got nothing to do with black, man. We seeing red. Who you pointing at? Oh, you just stretching. Okay. All right, y'all. Real quick, y'all. Let's run through these real quick one-liners. We're gonna close on out. 1 Samuel 16:12. You got it.
1 Samuel 16:12.
Yes, sir.
And he sent and brought him in.
And this is Samuel asking Jesse because we need to anoint the king. Saul and fell off. And it's up to 7 brothers in the past, and he say, ain't none of these them. Big scrapping brothers.
Can I jump back to verse 7 and then we'll jump back down to
Go ahead, brother. Yes, sir.
Verse 7. But the Most High said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance,
yes, sir,
or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Most High seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance,
terrestrial.
but the Most High looketh on the heart.
Celestial.
Yes, sir.
Because we were formed to be immortal. Our soul is still immortal. Our flesh is still. That's what we want to look on, what's dying. That's the only thing we're in the gym for. I mean, it's good to be healthy. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that. But when you do it for other reasons, right. You know, like did y'all see Hulk Hogan the other day? They booed him.
Yeah.
Boy, Hulk Hogan wasn't big as. Let me see. Who's skinny up there?
Leave that out.
Okay, I'll leave that out. But Hulk Hogan didn't look like Hulk Hogan.
Right.
Let's get it, y'all. Where we at?
I'm jumping back down.
Okay.
Verse 12. And he sent and brought him in. Now he was ruddy.
What was he?
Ruddy.
Uh-huh.
And with all of a beautiful countenance, and goodly to look to. And the Most High said, arise, anoint him, for this is he.
Uh-huh.
Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren. And the Spirit of the Most High came upon David from that day forward. So Samuel rose up and went to Ramah.
Now, notice it said he was ruddy. The other brothers, probably the other brothers the same color. But he had that ruddy that where he said, this is the seed of Jesse. Right here, out of the 8th son. This gonna be the one. We can see the celestial on it. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason he was picked out. He didn't see it. He said the all gonna signify who the celestial is out of your boy. Remember, one of a family. to sin. Y'all, so each one of us, if you got a big family, it's not saying only 2 people in your family gonna make it to the kingdom. It says that 2 individuals out, or 1 individual out of that family is gonna have that aura. He's gonna be carrying that light. So the devil try to get him or her to lose that light, so it destroys the rest of the family.
Right.
If you go down, everybody go down.
That's right.
And then because the righteous man, righteous his whole life and turn to wicked, what won't be remembered?
It's righteous.
Righteous.
So y'all ain't no need us playing around with the celestial. So we got that, so we can go ahead to the next one real quick. Y'all ain't got but a few more. They one line of Solomon, a Song of Solomon 1 and 6. And this is where we're going to some areas that's gonna make you think about just using one-liners on people saying everybody was black. Hamites are black. Cushites are black. Sudanese are black. Where do we stop? Y'all feel me?
Sure. Hindus are black.
Yes, sir.
Song of Solomon.
Yes, sir. Who got it?
What do you want, 1 and 5?
Song of Solomon should be right behind Ecclesiastes.
1 and 6.
Yeah,
1 and 5. Start there.
yeah, 1 and 5. And y'all, we're gonna move around just to a couple scriptures in here, not many. We just wanna give you some things for you to look at and you say, wait a minute, this ain't adding up right. Go ahead. Because this is a love story, y'all. This is Solomon talking to this woman, dark-skinned woman of another nation. See, we always use 1 and 5 to say that meant Solomon. The only problem is it don't have him in his glory.
Right.
It's got him in terrestrial, and he's in celestial glory, so to speak, been put on the terrestrial. Let's read.
Songs of Solomon chapter 1 verse 6. Look,
Read, yeah. Verse 5.
Songs of Solomon chapter 1 verse 5. I am black.
Hold it right there. Now, is black in this the color of a person, or is it the state of being? Because this is what we're going to find consistently with sons of men. When the word black comes up, it's going to be a state of falling down low. It ain't going to be celestial. It's going to be falling down low. But if you get one line, Daddy showing is black. But if you don't know, Ham was black. You understand? Sudanese are black. Some Arabs are black. If you chase color. Let's read some more. Go ahead.
I am black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon.
So, anybody real quick while we still read, just somebody pull up the color of the tents of Kedar. Just so we can see what she was comparing herself to. Because we were told this was Solomon saying this. So go ahead and read some more.
Kedar means dark.
Look not upon me, because I am black.
Because I'm what?
Because I am black.
Let's see how they made black. Go ahead.
Because the sun has looked upon me.
What has looked upon you?
The sun has looked upon me. My mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyard. But mine own vineyard have I not kept.
Okay.
Tell me, O thou whom my soul loveth, where thou feedest, where thou makest thy flock to rest at noon. For why should I be as one that turneth aside by the flocks of thy companions? If thou know not, O thou fairest among women.
See, who is it talking to? Unless you're calling Solomon a woman.
Talking to women.
Go ahead.
Right.
O thou fairest among women, go thy way forth by the footsteps of the flock, and feed thy kids beside the shepherd's tent.
So this is her talking about Solomon at first, talking about herself to Solomon. I really ain't nothing. I've been out working in the field. Solomon working in the fields, y'all?
No.
Did the sun turn Solomon black?
No.
Solomon was a king. What you mean working what field?
Rich. And
So
then-
4 and 1. Go ahead.
And then she says, my family was angry with me.
Yeah.
So she's treated like the black sheep of the
Oh,
family.
literally, Elisha. Literally.
She's like, hey, my companions, they ain't showing no favor towards me.
The sun has burnt me up.
So she's crying out to the daughters of Jerusalem, who she's saying are the fairest and the most beautiful of women.
You know why? Because see, the sisters was saying the same thing. Look at that old black ass heifer. Like they do today. Look at them with that white heifer. Y'all understand? But that color was prominent back then. So she knew the stigma that was on there, like it is on white women today dealing with Israelites. She like, y'all, your daughters that dwell in the temple, the Israelite sisters, they ain't gonna look at me the same. You know why you looking at me like that, Solomon? I can't compare to them.
Right.
Y'all, but we want to make this song. Hit that 4 and 1 of the same song with Solomon. And this is how she describes Solomon.
Songs of Solomon chapter 4 verse 1. Behold, thou art fair, my love. Behold, thou art fair. Thou hast dove's eyes within thy locks. Within thy locks.
So we know he had locks on his head, which don't necessarily mean dreadlocks, because when you look up locks, it'll say a tuft of hair or a twisting of the hair. When you say dreads, you just move it to another point. It just continues to grow, and then you lock them into. Then they become dreadlocks. But locks, when you look up locks, it'll say a tuft of hair, just like a dreadlock, but it's just kind of that without, you know, for y'all who had dreadlocks, y'all know what I'm talking about. Now, Mr. Say, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Me either, Mr. Go ahead.
It compares to as dates. You know how dates grow on a vine.
On the vine.
It says dates, and some are pomegranates on a vine.
Absolutely. And look, we get another example of Samson. It says Samson had 7 locks.
There we got it.
So these dreadlocks had to be this thick if he only had 7.
All right.
And it said they were woven, weaved, so they were plaited. He just had 7 plaits on his head that locked out.
Yes, sir.
You know how you braid the hair with the 3 braids? He had 7 of them off his head.
Yeah.
And he's representing, you know, and that's why when his hair got cut, because it was kind of representing them spirits he was supposed to have on. So y'all understand there wasn't no power in the hair. It was what the hair represented that he fell from. It was celestial, and he reduced his hair to terrestrial. With not that it had power in it, but what it signified.
Right.
Because it was Nazarite hair. And Nazarite is a vow to God that can't be broke. It's number 6 hair. Anybody can get dreads done from the African. But when you go Nazarite number 6 chapter, it's a whole nother level that we're talking about locks.
Come on.
Let's read some more. What does it say?
Thy hair is as the flocks of goats.
As a flock of sheep.
As the flock of goats.
As a flock of sheep.
As
Now I'm
a flock
just
of
saying
goats.
that. So where is the woolly hair for Solomon? It says it's kind of like a flock of goats. It's black. A flock of goats would make it good curly hair. You know, some nice, you know, what we were talking about, that hair that a pick comb can get through it with one picking. Go ahead.
Thy hair is as flocks of goats that appear from Mount Gilead. Thy teeth are like a flock of sheep that are even shorn, which came up from the washing, whereof every one bare twins,
Yeah.
and none is barren among them. Thy lips are like a thread of scarlet.
Oh, now wait a minute. Lips like a thread of scarlet. Now Michael Jackson tattooed his bottom lip. Scarlet color. And I'm just saying, this is just talking in the form of pureness, what comes off of your lips. Because we're told lip service destroys us. So it's comparing his lips in righteousness form. This is what she's saying. It's like scarlet. You know, go ahead, what else to say?
Thy lips are like a thread of scarlet, and thy speech is comely. Thy temples are like a piece of pomegranate within thy locks. Thy neck is like the tower of David, built for an armory, whereon there hang 1,000 bucklers, all shields of mighty men. Thy two breasts are like 2 young roes that are twins, which feed among the lilies, until the daybreak, and the shadows flee away. I will get me the mountain of myrrh.
So that's her describing Solomon just in his rights. And she's just saying, you like this, you like the armory of David. Y'all understand? You got that power. I see it, like your father David. This ain't got nothing to do. And look, none of it, we ain't seen no white when we heard yet, have we?
Not.
Okay, so now let's just get real quick. This next one right there, we're 5 and 11. And y'all gonna jump down these last two and we out of here. 5 and 11, who got it?
Chapter 5, verse 11.
Okay, no, back this up, though. This don't really upset some people.
Okay.
Start at verse 8.
Verse 8. Chapter 5, verse 8.
Song to Solomon, chapter 5 and 8.
I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, if you find my beloved, then you tell him that I am sick of love.
So this that same woman that was dark in chapter 1 saying, if y'all find Solomon, he's my beloved, tell him I miss him so bad. This is a love story, y'all. When you read this, you'll see her talking and you'll see Solomon. It's a courtship as well. And then if you look at this supernaturally, some says the love of the nation of Israel to the God, to the Messiah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What does it say?
What is thy beloved more than another beloved? O thou fairest among women. What is thy beloved more than another beloved, that thou doest so charge us? My beloved is white and ruddy, the chiefest among 10,000.
So she said this is what her beloved is, white. Now, are we still talking about Solomon here? So is Solomon white?
And ruddy?
Or is she talking about power and majesty? Go ahead, what does it say?
His head is as the most fine gold.
Uh-oh.
His locks are bushy and black as a raven.
Uh-huh.
His eyes are as the eyes of doves by the rivers of water, washed with milk and fitly set.
Y'all read the rest of that. As y'all read down, you're going to see what she's comparing him to of righteousness on the celestial level. As y'all get more and more, that you're going to see those things. But she's saying he's white. If we start chasing color right there, somebody that's white will stop you right there. Hold it, don't you go another step. What did she say he was?
You know what?
I see the Bible had been tampered with. That's the only place you can go. So y'all gonna hold that, y'all read all of that in your own time. Job 30 and 30. We're gonna hit these one liners, y'all gonna close on out of there. Job 30 and 30. And this is one that people have a problem with when they say Job was not an Edomite, but they base this off of black. But we're gonna see why he considers himself black. Did he change colors? And the only time white people change black is when they dead. That's why their funerals have to be before. They can't leave them out 2-3 weeks. If they do, it's a closed casket.
Yes, sir.
Because they don't have the pigmentation. We get dark when we die, but because they don't have pigmentation, really, really dark skin come up, and they be like, wait a minute, Jasper was a, don't you say it. Was Jasper an N-word? Look at him in that coffin. All along, he was a white boy until he died.
Right.
Until he died.
This will happen to you too.
And then the truth came out. Started Job 30 and 28. Who got it?
Ariel.
All right, okay.
You've been trying to dodge.
See, I was trying to be quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end, I noticed you started jumping off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would notice.
Yeah.
Been
I'm trying to
around
get
you for a long time.
See, I'm trying to get through, but these people talking, you know, that's what I'm saying. Long-winded over here. Go ahead, bro.
Job 30 and 30.
30 and 28.
Okay.
All right, so I'm reading in the book of Job, chapter 30. I'm going to start the reading in verse 28. And it reads, I went mourning without the sun.
What do you do?
Went mourning without the sun.
So the sun ain't involved with this. making him dark like we just read Psalms of Solomon. Go ahead.
I stood up and I cried in the congregation. I am a brother to dragons and a companion to owls. My skin is black upon him, and my bones are burned with heat.
See, his skin is black upon him because his bones are burned with heat. His bones burn and turning black. So what that means is Job was sick, y'all. Job had cancer. Job had rottenness of the flesh. And diabetes. Any white person that's sick, they turn dark immediately. But he's saying, I'm black because of a condition. I'm like a dragon. I'm at my lowest point. I want to die, but I want to at least know why. Why has this come upon me? This don't make Job a black man. This is a condition of an individual. If you want to be black, then take on what he took on me. If that's what made him black, 20 years, what was like, 40 years?
40 years.
Of suffering. If your feet suffer like that, your toes don't turn black. Y'all understand what I'm saying? And read this color. How will we know if your feet turn black if we already black? Let's get this next one, y'all, so we close on out. Jeremiah 8:19. And y'all, these are the one-liners I'm telling you got to be careful of. This ain't saying nothing about nation yet, have it? No. Thou art of the nations of the blacks. Have y'all ever read lineage? And Jacob begot such and such. And such he begot such and such begot black. Have we ever read that?
No, look black.
Look black. Judah black. But he's still saying Judah first. Let's get it. Jeremiah 8:19.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 8, and verse 19.
Yes, sir.
Read. Behold, the voice of the cry of the daughter of my people, because of them that dwell in a far country.
Yes, sir.
Is not the Most High in Zion? Is not her king in her? Why have they provoked me to anger with their graven images?
With their what?
With their graven images, and with strange vanity. The harvest is past, the summer is ended, and we are not saved.
Still, after all that, we still ain't made no closer connection to the Most High.
Right.
Go in.
For the hurt of the daughter of my people am I hurt. I am black. Astonishment hath taken hold on me.
Now, when you read verse 1, it's going to tell you the condition that we fell down to. He's not black. See, once you make it black because we're in a bad state of mind, then that's why they call us black. Because we're in mourning. We're the only people on earth left in captivity. Do you know 23andMe? I'm just saying this real quick. There's a documentary on Tubi. It's about the little girl in 1983 that's found on Maple and Clara with her head cut off.
Ooh, I remember.
They still been looking for that. But it's a good documentary, y'all. Check it out when y'all get a chance. Me and wife were watching it last night. But what they're saying is they're trying, because DNA wasn't that hot back then, but they still got it. So what they're trying to do now is 23andMe, which allows, check out that window, anybody out there heard 23andMe allows your DNA to be grabbed, but you still have power over what you want. They said already with the new DNA technology, we done found 2 people so far that matched this headless girl. We know, based on what we studied, she came from Texas and migrated up toward the St. Louis area. But what we're finding is she was either born in Texas or a southern state. This is what we know. We found 2 people, but they're 100 years old. And we can't trace that because we don't know if that was adoption. But guess what they say? We can't go back past 1865. At that point, Israel is cut off because of the wall of slavery. It ain't no other group of people on this planet that 23andMe have a wall of slavery that stops you from finding the rest of our lineage. Nobody else. So now they just have to wait and hope somebody in their family, somebody 20 years old or 30 years old now, because that little girl will be 50 now. They put that DNA in the database and they track and say, okay, we got a second cousin right here. We have a second cousin. But they said because of slavery, moving us from plantation to plantation, it's somebody that looked just like Ben over in Virginia. You're like, Ben, you was out of town on the weekend. I was in Virginia too. You're like, man, I ain't been in no Virginia. Man, this somebody look just like you. That's Ben's uncle, his father's brother that was carted off. Y'all understand what he's saying? That's why the joke is, what's the most confusing day in America for black people?
Father's Day.
What day?
Father's Day.
That's right. Where we at? So 819 is not for you to point to and say black. It's a mourning state unless you want to accept us as being nothing people at this point. Downtrodden. If you acknowledge it has nothing to do with God because he ain't in no black state. Have we read he's black? As unto the ground. And I'm not talking about color-wise. I'm talking about the position, what black means. When you look up black, it'll tell you this color to read from this. Mourning, sadness, trouble. That ain't got nothing to do with a nation of people. A nation of people fall into those conditions. Mm-hmm. Let's speed this on up, y'all. Get on out of here. Lamentations 4. We ain't gonna read it all. We just gonna see what the fall fit. Lamentations right after Jeremiah. And we're gonna see how Israel in celestial form, only an image, failed real bad. And it's going to be something here that describes what the Nazarites look like. And it ain't going to add up if you keep reading. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a different color person. Have you ever seen a multicolored individual? I'll have it, they got on a t-shirt and they go out in the sun. Right. When they pull that shirt off, all it's going to be lighter than their arms. Right. Let's get some up. 4 and 1, Lamentation. Yeah, we got number 3 more one-liners.
Lamentations chapter 4, verse 1.
What it say?
How has the gold become dim?
How has the gold become dim? Go ahead.
How is the most fine gold changed?
Uh-huh.
The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street.
Uh-huh.
The precious sons of Zion.
What kind of sons of Zion?
The precious sons of Zion.
Uh-huh.
Comparable to fine gold.
Comparable to black.
Comparable to fine gold. How are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter?
Uh-huh.
Even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people is become cruel.
It's become what?
It's become cruel.
Uh-huh.
Like the ostriches in the wilderness.
So now look back at Jeremiah 8:19 when it say the daughters of my people. You understand it now? You see what they become? Cruel. Family broke up. Tore up house. What does it say? Go down to verse 8 if you will.
Verse 4.
Yeah.
The tongue of the suckling child cleaveth to the roof of his mouth.
For what?
For thirst.
Uh-huh.
The young children ask bread, and no man breaketh it unto them.
We ain't got a loaf of bread. We ain't got a piece of bread. We ain't got no longhorn bread. You know that brown bread?
Right.
Go ahead.
They that did feed delicately.
Well, how did we feed?
Delicately are desolate in the streets. They that were brought up in scarlet embrace dunghill.
Y'all see our fall. This is what you label yourself when you say black Hebrew Israelite. You are saying, I'm this and I want glory for it. I want to put a gold chain on this dim gold. Go ahead, what does it say?
Verse 5. They that feed, I'm on 6.
Yeah.
Verse 6. For the punishment of the iniquity of the daughters of my people is greater than the punishment of the sin of Solomon. And that was overthrown as in a moment, and no hand stayed on her.
Now number 6. This is what number 6 to fail, the Nazarites. Samson, this is where the Nazarites were pure. These were celestial covenant individuals. Let's see what the Nazarites say.
Her Nazarites were purer than snow.
Were purer than snow. Go ahead.
They were whiter than milk.
White man say, stop it right there. Stop it right there. I'm not going further. The Nazarites are white. It says it right there.
In black and
And
white.
black and white. Go ahead, what else to say?
They were more ruddy in body than ruby. Their polishing was of sapphire.
Notice once again, ruddy is tied to Israelites. Not red. Go ahead, what else to say?
Their visage is blacker than coal.
Visage is the face. So does this mean they black people, or is this downtrodden state? Go ahead, what else to say?
They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It withereth.
It
is become like a stick.
Yeah.
They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with the hunger.
Not the Nazarites. Go ahead.
For these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field.
So, go ahead. Did we get to the visage is black and gold? So this is what we're saying. They're white, but their face is black. Do that make sense, y'all? Do y'all understand? It says,
they're whiter than
pure than snow, they were whiter than milk. But their face is black, verse 8. Have y'all seen an individual like that?
And then it says they're ruddy in body.
And they ruddy in body. This the rainbow man, ain't it?
Right.
But this Israel been fallen from his glory. It started out, how have the gold become dim? Right. Yes. When you get in Deuteronomy, I believe 28:54, it says the same thing about the daughters of Israel, who were so precious, they soles of their feet never touched the ground. It don't mean that they just was floating every to the kitchen. You want some breakfast, baby? And she just floated, her feet don't touch. You know, and she just floating in midair. No, brother, like they read too much into it. It just basically said their sugar, honey, iced tea didn't stink. They were that fine. But we fall into this state. So just wanted to run that by you for a color situation that you won't be able to use color like that because you're going to run into problems with certain individuals with a black face, white arms. If you use color. Let's run these last ones. Isaiah 1:18, because what we want to do is show that not once have we read anything about wool on individuals, have we? I'm talking about the sons of men. No. Where have we only woolly hair at?
The Most High.
The Most High Messiah, right?
Yes, sir.
Have you seen any angel with woolly hair?
Nope.
But they have it, they don't have to describe it because they're in the Godhead. Wool represents power, majesty, righteousness at the highest level. What we get is what the Bible separates us from that because we in this skin right here that corrupts. I tell you what, let's get to that skin first and then finish up with Isaiah 1:18. Leviticus 19:32. One verse, y'all, Proverbs 16:31 and Proverbs 17:6. And we're going to get this understanding of how our hair looks being the Son of Man and what it comes to. It only changes color.
It hit that wisdom of Solomon in Apocrypha chapter 2. Chapter 4.
Chapter 4, that's what Tuba said. That was
8, 9.
Wisdom of Solomon.
Yes, sir.
4, 8, 9.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's run these real quick, y'all. These one lines, y'all, we're going to get on out of here. The sun is setting on us.
Dad, are you doing Leviticus 19?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. We're going to Leviticus 19:32. Let's get it.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 32. Thou shalt rise up.
No, read that here. Leviticus 19:32. Okay, go ahead.
19:32.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Thou shalt rise up before the hoary head.
Before the what kind of head?
Before the hoary head.
And
honor the face of the old man, and fear thy God. I am the Lord.
So the hoary head, you should rise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the old man. Understand what it says. This white hair is because he's aged. Right. So you got to give him respect that he's reached a certain age. His hair changed colors. Only way you can do that as a young man is to dye it. Unless you got worry that we ain't never seen before, and you 25 with a head of gray hair. But they had told you something that turned it gray overnight. But go ahead, where we at? Verse what? That was it for 32? Yeah. Let's get to Proverbs 16:31 and Proverbs 17:6. Yeah, we're going to close on out of here. We're going to finish with these last two. Proverbs 16:31. Who that over there laughing ain't flipping pages?
He said laughing and ain't flipping.
Proverbs 16:31-32. Let's get it. Who got it?
Proverbs chapter 16, verse 31.
The
hoary head.
The woolly head.
The hoary head
Uh-huh.
is a crown of glory, if it be found in the way of righteousness.
If what?
If it be found in the way of righteousness.
Because fools could have hoary heads.
Yes, sir.
Y'all understand? They got old, what the script called, an old foolish man.
That dope.
That dope.
Yes, sir.
All in the club.
Yeah.
Shaking his chain.
Shaking his change and promises of Pepsi in the trunk. And a key ring looked like he managed 10 apartment buildings. Get your Pepsi out of there. Skis is what they call you. Go ahead. Proverbs 17:6. Go ahead, bro.
Proverbs 17:6. Children's children are the crown of old men.
What is that? The crown of old men?
Children's children, grandchildren. And the glory of children are their fathers.
See, so children are the glory or the crown of old men. Y'all understand? We get terrestrial blessings here. Y'all see this? But we ain't seen wool yet, have we?
Nope.
We see hoary head. That means you're enduring. You're getting through tribulations. Your hair is white. Just don't want it to be white from just pain like that. But you've been around a while. Especially if you've been in righteousness. Now the hoary head is respected. Let's get this last one, y'all. Isaiah 1:18. And then we're going to hit that. I tell you what, that Wisdom of Solomon 4:8, 9. Then Isaiah closes it out because it'll tell us when our hair will change to wool. But y'all look at George Washington's that portrait at the top of the Capitol. And y'all gonna see what it means, the founding fathers. He's got on wool and a globe of the world is there. So he's saying, I'm the king of the world right now. I have on the wool. But who's the king of the world right now? What nation? Come on, y'all, it ain't hard. And what do he call himself? The founding what?
Father.
Not sure if I want to make a point on the founding father. That's why people can't understand Isaiah 7th chapter when it said he should be wonderful counselor, everlasting father. Because you have to go back and understand Christ is the father of us. He's the father of the nations of Israel and all believers. He's a father. You know what I'm saying? He's not the father, but he's the father. Abraham Lincoln can do it, and we dare let come out of our mouth. Father, who got a bosom? Father, what? What we call Abraham? How you gonna say Father Abraham? But this Isaiah 7 is a problem for you calling him the everlasting Father of us, not of his father. What else to say, bro? Because he said you can be sons like him, won't you? That's what we're gonna get to. Go ahead, finish that up, Ben, so we can get this last script and we can close it out. Wisdom of Solomon 4:8, 9. Who got it?
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 8.
What it say, Elijah?
For honorable age is not that which standeth in length of time, nor that is measured by number of years.
Yeah.
But wisdom is the gray hair unto men.
The woolly hair.
Gray hair unto men, and an unspotted life is old age.
See, an unspotted life is old age. You understand that what it's saying? It's still talking about this flesh gonna die. But if you make it old age and your hair turn gray and your honorable people still point you out, man, that's an honorable guy right there. Then old age was added to you to make you live longer. Like Abraham lived to 175 when the cutoff is 70. But he still had to do what?
Work.
Die.
Yeah.
It's 175. Y'all, let's finish this last one. Isaiah 1:18. And we're going to close on out, y'all. Who got it?
Ariel.
I tell you what, Verse 13 down to 18, y'all. We're going to call it. Who got it?
Isaiah chapter 1.
What y'all laughing at? See all that laughing? Y'all see how they laughing? Got us delayed. Look, we've been in the parking lot. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro.
Isaiah chapter 1, verse 13.
Yeah.
Bring no more vain oblations. Incense is an abomination unto me. The new moons and Sabbaths, they call it the calling of assemblies. I cannot away with. It is iniquity, even the solemn meeting. Your new moons and your appointed feasts, my soul hateth. They are trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them. And when ye spread forth your hands, I will hide mine eyes from you. Yeah, when ye make many prayers, I will not hear. Your hands are full of blood.
That's why it ain't saying that the new moon and stuff is not good. He just said your hands full of blood. Ain't no need you doing.
Right.
Individual hands full of blood. He's trying to explain to Manoah through chakra. This one here, see, for the left leg, and this one here for the right leg, and this one for the right arm, and this one for the back of your head, and this one over here for crooked footed, and see, it's karma. We ain't read nothing in the scripture about that Manoah, but it's in front of the throne, and it's the 7 spirits of God. Where have you read all of this other stuff? This is why he say, I don't want to hear that. Next, you're gonna be promoting Kwanzaa.
Right.
You were selling crystals online. These will get you going. Had people in an aluminum foil hat and talking on their phone. It's gonna stop 5G. Yeah, no, I'm safe. I'm safe.
I got my hat.
I'm safe. A warlock, when you look up warlock, it says an opportunist. Wherever I can find a way to get it going, I'm gonna get it going that way. I'll sell water, I'll sell toenails, I'll sell whatever you need. Let's get some more. Finish that off. Yeah.
Verse 16.
Yeah.
Wash you.
He said, let's clean it up.
Wash you. Make you clean.
Uh-huh.
Put away the evil of your doings from before mine eyes.
Uh-huh.
Cease to do evil. Learn to do well. Seek judgment. Relieve the oppressed. Judge the fatherless. Plead for the widow. Come now and let us reason together, says the Most High.
Yes, sir.
Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow.
Don't change all that up. Go ahead.
Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool.
They shall be as what?
Wool.
But see, this is after we clean ourselves up. Wool will come. But you got to be cleaned up to wear that wool. You can't wear that wool now. You get hot with that wool on today we got. Because it don't have righteousness in it. To make you itch. All in other places. Let's close out. Anybody got any questions too about it?
No, sir. Other than a who y'all saying word, is it in the Bible about eating squirrels? I don't know what you're
Eating squirrels? Yeah, eating squirrels. What happened? Who? Nah, it may be some tribulation scriptures and
I put it up there already. I'm reading that right now.
and they say, boy, look.
I just read it, bro.
If y'all see Rocky, tell him I'm looking for him. Let's close out, y'all.
Somebody fell asleep doing that.
Yeah. No, ain't no words say we eat no squirrels. We know a few individuals we nicknamed squirrels.
People in there like, squirrel.
Yes. Let's close this out, y'all. All praise to the Most High.
All right, family. We're going to get this closing prayer. And it is with the Most High's permission. And is in the name of his only begotten and beloved Son, our Lord and Savior and our Redeemer, Yahushua HaMashiach. But we know him as Jesus the Christ, family. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 30th chapter, it reads,
Read.
I will extol thee, O Yahweh.
Yes, sir.
For thou hast lifted me up, and hast not made my foes to rejoice over me. O Yahweh my Elohim, I cried unto thee, and thou hast healed me. O Master, thou hast brought up my soul from the grave. Thou hast kept me alive, that I should not go down to the pit. Sing unto the Most High, O ye saints of his, and give thanks at the remembrance of his holiness. For his anger endureth but a moment. In his favor is life. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. And in my prosperity I said,
Yes, sir.
I shall never be moved. Master, by thy favor thou hast made my mountain to stand strong. Thou didst hide thy face, and I was troubled. I cried to thee, O Yahweh, and unto the Most High I made supplication. What profit is there in my blood when I go down to the pit?
Yes, sir.
Shall the dust praise thee? Shall it declare thy truth? Hear, O Yahweh, and have mercy upon me, Master. Be thou my helper. Thou hast turned from me my mourning into dancing. Thou hast put off my sackcloth and girded me with gladness, to the end that my glory may sing praise to thee.
Yes, sir.
And not be silent, O Yahweh my Elohim. I will give thanks unto thee forever.
Hallelujah! Selah! All praises, y'all. Shalom to the worldwide family. Y'all got a sample or two. We greatly appreciate it, y'all. Please clean up after yourselves. Y'all, let's put it back like we found it. And y'all, all praises for the Most High moving the administrator of this building to get that Wi-Fi together. 2 by 2 was good. Oh, yes, sir. All praises. Yes, sir.
All praises to my. I ain't saying all praise to you.
He's clear. You cleared it up. You ain't using that mic no more.
Oh, okay.
We gonna get, because you gotta use these, point it up toward the neck.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll bring it up.
Okay.
But yeah, you.